Hello. What's stuff? Yeah, it's fine.
Hey everyone, GameHounds podcast. Welcome back to the show. We are here. We have no Andrew this week, but that doesn't mean we're not going to be doing the show. We were off last week. Thank you for the ability for me to not be here for a week so I could go do dumpster
Yeah,
day.
dumpster diving.
No, dumpster day. It wasn't dumpster diving.
Yeah, I don't. It sounds like two sides of the same coin.
No, it was dumpster day
Okay. This
where
is a
we're
day
taking
of the
garbage and putting it into
celebration
the
of
dumpster.
dumpsters.
Yes, it was, where we take other people's stuff and put it into the dumpsters as opposed to taking stuff out of the dumpsters. That's
Everyone
dumpster
brings
diving.
dumpster themed cakes to the party. You've got little cupcakes that are the trash bins.
No, no. But it was, man. You can always tell how the economy is doing by how many people line up for dumpster day. What it is that the local garbage company brings a dumpster into your neighborhood and you accept anything to be thrown away for free in the dumpster. Well, not anything, but most everything.
Yeah.
And you can always tell how the economy is going by how many people line up because most people,
Oh my
they
sh-
don't hold their stuff, they just take it to the dump or they get rid of it other ways, put it in their regular refuse or whatever.
Mhm.
But dumpster day is usually very, very busy in the morning, first thing. And then it slacks off. It starts at 8, about 10, it goes from 8 to noon, and about 10 a.m., it kind of dies because, everybody's already dumped. Not this month, not this time. We had to cut it off at noon and tell people you can't line up. We're closed because we don't tell the dumpsters to leave. The guys just pick up the dumpsters and leave.
Okay.
And so at noon, they're gone.
So people
There's
had
nothing we can do about it.
a lot of stuff to throw away.
People had a lot of stuff to throw away, but mostly it's a function that people don't want to spend the money to take it to the dump because dump fees are expensive.
Mm,
And you could, like I said, you could always tell how the economy is going by whether somebody's willing to spend $75 to throw away all their stuff in the back of the pickup truck and do it on their time, or if they want to wake up crack of dawn and dump it on free dumpster day. And, that comes down to the $75 or so that you'll have to spend to
hmm.
dump something. And most times people are like, I just rather do it on my own time when I want to do it rather than save. It's not worth the $75 to get up in the morning and do it on this particular day. Not so this time.
Hmm.
It's I had 2 economic indicators in Point Richmond. One was the line for dumpster day. The other one was the line for the Great American Hamburger Company, which was this little hamburger stand on the corner. And if at lunchtime you saw the line, there was a screen door on the place. If the line ever came out the screen door, it's like economy's back. Like there was nobody during COVID. Nobody, like, the door was constantly closed, it never opened, and then slowly over time, one day I saw, "Oh, hey, door's open," this it made the line
The
made it out
line.
the screen
Yeah.
door, and it's like, "Alright, economy's back." Well, the Great American Hamburger Company is gone, unfortunately, by
Oh, they shut down.
it was shut down by a serial, ADA filer.
Ah.
Yeah, which, I went the last day and cried my eyes out, because that was kind of a spot. Kevin and I would eat there all the time, like, at that counter. That was when I would go to
Yeah.
commune with my husband, was I'd go have a burger and sit at our spot at the counter and talk with the owner who was behind the grill. Um, but yeah, the Great American is gone, and so the only indicator I have now is the line at dumpster day, and let's just say
Yeah.
I came back and I sold the stock funds that I had in my, in my in my 401k. I liquidated my 401k.
Okay, okay.
And I'm glad I did because my 401k, the fund that I had everything invested in, dropped like 8% right afterwards.
Oh, good timing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I can't click the comments, but AC Wraith says they had no hope. Edie bought another auction and got their whole supply of beef.
oh, fuck off. No.
Do you still have those turkeys?
Yes.
Are they still edible?
No. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, they'd be edible. Absolutely. They've been held sub-zero. They're fine, but I'm not going to give them to anybody and I'm not going to eat them.
Okay. So they're mainly for chucking now.
Yep.
They're just you've got a bunch of what are the things that you put in a catapult? I guess is there a word for it? It's just rocks. You've got like a big old turkey rock that you can catapult at
Yes,
someone.
projectiles. I have
Sure,
projectiles
yeah.
that I can put into a catapult and
Okay.
launch at
So if
the Trojan rabbit.
yeah. Okay, well go good when like the peasant revolution begins, we can use those turkeys to break down the castle walls of Castle Musk and Castle Bezos. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
we can
Did
take
you
down
ever
their walls
see
with turkeys.
did you ever see the not the Ghostbusters, Mythbusters, where they talked about the turkey gun that they used to test windshields
Oh, I did see that.
of
Yeah.
planes to see if, the windshields and if the fuselage is strong enough to withstand a bird strike. And they actually have a turkey gun, a chicken gun or a turkey gun that they will shoot a turkey at the windshield to see how to see whether it will survive, fuselages will survive. And there's an old joke about how someone had put a frozen turkey in there and it essentially shot it completely out the back of the thing. They're supposed to use a defrosted turkey, but somebody used a frozen turkey and destroyed a plane like that.
As
So
it says, I would
they
love
ch
to have that job.
right. So they ran the test, they got an old plane, like a wrecked plane from a junkyard, like the fuselage part of it, and hit it with a turkey and a defrosted turkey, and yeah, it survived. And then they loaded it with a frozen turkey, and it just crumpled it like a can. It was like sending a bullet through Jello.
Yeah, frozen turkeys are like rocks.
Mhm. Yep, they sure are. And I
Oh,
got some big ones.
he also says or a cannon. We can use
Or
a
cannon. Yep.
catapult or a cannon.
With a
Yeah.
cannon, you could do some damage with a frozen turkey. Absolutely. You just have to get a cannon big enough to do it. So I'm sorry if I'm slightly distracted. So I live in a apartment and I've always been like, it is the quietest apartment building I have ever been in. I have never heard a sound from any neighbor. Well, I guess I must have a new neighbor downstairs because they're playing very, very bass heavy music directly underneath me, and it is rocking my my like I have it on my coffee table. I can feel it through my feet. So I'm hoping that some other neighbor downstairs kind of comes over and goes, "Turn it down a bit. You live in a communal living space."
You could do the traditional upstairs neighbor and pound on the floor.
No, the floors here are really, really solid. I don't think I could
Hmm.
pound on it hard enough to actually do some damage. Hey, chaos is in the room. Now is the time to master the tap step. No, no, I'm not gonna. It's the floors here are very, very thick. This building is fantastically soundproofed.
As it just keeps coming up with the weapons for our frozen turkeys. He also
I don't
mentions a blunderbuss.
I don't I don't have any inclination to start a noise war with the downstairs neighbor.
We can use a turkey blunderbuss on the downstairs neighbors.
Turkey blunderbuss?
Yeah.
That sounds like something that dwarves would make. Yep. Blunderbuss would work too. It would, but no. I try not to choose violence when it comes to these situations, and I'm hoping that because this is such a quiet building, I can't imagine that someone isn't going to say something. I can't imagine I'm not the only one getting rocked right now. So we'll see. Anyway, how was your week off, Nick? What did you do? Anything interesting?
Not anything super interesting. I
Yeah.
mainly just took that time to play a whole bunch of games.
Yeah.
The
Well,
weekend that we didn't I think we went to do something. There was some reason that I didn't do a podcast. We went out to do something, but I don't remember.
yeah.
But I played a lot of Resident Evil 9. Played a lot of it last weekend, played a lot of it yesterday.
Well, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about
Let's
it.
Oh, okay, yeah, got it. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
So it's the big gimmick this time is that it combines the third person action game that was
Mhm.
Resident Evil 4 with the first person horror that was Resident Evil 7 and 8.
Mhm.
And it combines them in two different characters. So when you play as Grace Ashcroft, you're often in first person, and you can actually switch these views in the menu at any time. So you could play the
Mhm.
whole game as first person or as third person if you want. You just have to switch it in the menu. It recommends that you do Grace in first person and Leon in uh, third person. But I also got some add-ons, like a special sight for Leon, so that when I aim down the side of the gun, it aims in first person rather than third person. So it's like a mix. It plays with perspective in a bunch of different ways. But the point is, it marries the action-focused games and the horror-focused games, and
Mhm.
it does a really good job of that. So you played the demo at PAX, right?
Yes, I did, and I
Uh,
liked it. It was
yeah,
scary as hell, but I liked it.
sneaking through the room while being chased by this like weird witch lady who didn't like light and kept crawling up into the ceilings. And that's like the very beginning of the game. That uh ends with like Grace trying to escape and then being dragged back into the darkness. It's not a spoiler to say like that is the moment Leon shows up. When you
Mhm.
first play as Leon, you walk through a door and look over and you see Grace crawling out and then getting dragged back in. He takes out the biggest fucking handgun you've ever seen and just 4 shots and that big old lady's head explodes.
Okay.
So the creature that we spend so long running from in that opening, he comes in and goes, fuck
Bam,
this.
bam, bam, bam.
Yep.
Yeah, hold my beer.
And what that does is it kind of creates this really nice, like rising and falling of tension where has Grace, you're playing like you're really weak and you're exploring these environments really slowly. You're sneaking past zombies. It evolves like the survival horror aspect in interesting ways.
Mhm.
One of the things that they talked about when promoting the game is how the zombies will have some memory of what they used to do in
Oh,
life.
wait, hold on a second. Oh my god. Ezio, you're right. I didn't start
Oh,
the show.
we didn't have the
Oh my god. We have started all over again. Oh, that sucks. All right. Well, let's start the show.
Okay, okay.
This podcast discusses video games, pop culture, and technology, and these podcasters have big, fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom said to take out the trash and do your homework.
Da-da-da-da. Can you fast forward it?
Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 811. We are recording this on Sunday, March 8th, 2026. I'm Edie Sellers. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, be aware I broke my New Year's resolution to always start the show at the beginning of the show. So we are jumping into the review of Resident Evil Requiem because we did the whole pre-show. We did the whole beginning of Nick talking about Resident Evil Requiem, going over it. So this is what you get for not watching the show live because thank you, Ezio Helsing, for reminding me that we had forgotten to start the show. I suck. I'm sorry. All right. So, Nick, Resident Evil Requiem.
Okay, I can start over a little bit.
You don't have to start over totally, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. The whole gimmick
It's
here
good.
is that well, it's good, and that it marries the action of Resident Evil 4 with the horror of 7 and 8. The first person, the third person, it does all that together through these two different characters, Grace and Leon. And Grace is the survival horror character. She's the one that you play in first person. She's weak. When they were promoting the game, they made a lot of big deal about how zombies will remember some of the things they did in life. And from a lore perspective, it's like, well, okay, that's kind of interesting, but I didn't really get what the big deal of that would be.
Mhm.
But in gameplay, what that actually translates to is that the zombies become like little puzzles, because you'll have a zombie that's a maid, and she wants to clean up messes. So you're like, okay, if quickly you get an item that if you jab it into a zombie's neck, they blow up, like
Mhm.
literally blow up like a water balloon of blood. Well, if you do that, the maid zombie comes over to that mess and starts cleaning it up because she needs to clean.
Mhm.
There's another zombie that keeps turning off the lights. And so that means if you turn on a light and run away, he'll wander over to that switch and turn it off. So they kind of have these patterns, and you can use those patterns to sneak past them. And that's kind of how they integrate this whole memory lore deal into the gameplay. Because
Mhm.
as Grace, your first thought isn't how do I kill this zombie? It's how do I get past it? How do I sneak past it? Because you have very limited ammo, you're very weak. The zombies take a lot more bullets than they do when you're playing as Leon. And so fighting them is dangerous. There's also the
Mhm.
fact that every zombie you kill can come back later as a stronger zombie.
Oh,
Uh,
that's a horrible
there's a
idea. I
thing
hate
called
that.
blister heads, and at any moment you can walk by and a dead zombie will reawaken. Its head will like grow a bunch of pustules, like a big blister, and it will come
Ugh.
at you more aggressive and violent than before. Uh, so that means you don't want to kill every zombie you see because hey, they could come back stronger.
Mhm.
So the memory aspect turns each zombie encounter into a fun puzzle of okay, I'm going to watch this zombie. What is their deal? And how can I get past them? And if I can't get past them, how can I kill them in the most effective way possible?
Right.
And so it turns the exploration into a neat survival horror puzzle game that's really, really well done. Uh, because it's so tense. You keep encountering different zombies. You sneak past one, but then you encounter the other. But then you also know, shit, that other zombie's still behind me. So I can't really escape. I have to do something here. I'm stuck between two zombies. What do I do?
Stuck
Uh,
between a zombie and a hard place.
exactly. And with Grace's areas, or like her first big area, she's in this mental hospital. And when I'm looking at the map, it has such impressive level design because they'll give you items that kind of take you to the West Wing, and
Mhm.
then you'll explore over there a little bit, and you'll find some locked doors, but you'll find an item that takes you to the East Wing. Then you'll find an item that takes you back to the West Wing, then back to the East Wing. So through like it's almost Metroidvania in the way that they kind of guide your hand. It's surprisingly, I don't want to say linear because this environment is a big open building, but the
Mhm.
way that they guide you through that is so well thought out that okay, we're gonna let the player explore this area, then get an item that lets them go back to the other area. Then they get another item that lets them go to a new area. And through that, they're able to like really control the pacing to give you little calm moments where there are just a couple zombies and I can take out these guys, to then like some big old monster baby shows up that you didn't have to deal with. And they know exactly when to kind of pull those triggers. It's such an expertly paced haunted house. Grace's sections are.
Uh-huh.
And so it's a
Now,
really, really
what
good
about
horror game.
Leon? It said Leon is the other one?
Yes.
Okay.
Leon
What about
is
Leon's section?
he's a full-on absurd action hero craziness. Like full-on this other day I was on a motorcycle racing through the ruins of Raccoon City with a bunch of giant mutant dogs chasing me. And like it's a full-on action here. I got a machine gun shooting at these dogs. So early on, one of the creatures Leon encounters early on is a zombie with a chainsaw. And Resident Evil 4, the chainsaw, big deal. But this time, you shoot that zombie a couple times, it drops the chainsaw. I'm like, okay, go over, pick it up, just start chainsawing through a whole bunch of zombies. But then you chainsaw through one, and instead of slashing, he stabs it and then does like a jump drop kick to bury the chainsaw into the zombie's chest, except it's still alive. And what it does is it then pulls the chainsaw out of its chest to start attacking you. But then when you kill it, it falls to the ground, but the chainsaw is still going. And the chainsaw catches onto the ground and shoots forward towards you like a snake, pulling the zombie behind it until it finally lets go. And the chainsaw sits there spinning in circles until it finally stops. But it's still like... I go over, pick it up, and I do the whole thing again. And it's that like, oh shit, just absurd action of not only are you giving me this big old weapon, but you're kind of dynamically creating all these chaotic scenarios of I stole the chainsaw, the zombie stole it back, now the chainsaw is killing us both. It's really, really just goofy, but also incredibly fun. And it's so satisfying to go through the same areas that you explore with Grace had Leon. So you spend a lot of time sneaking through these areas with Grace, like being afraid. And then you walk through with Leon, just picking off all the stragglers. And there's a blister head that popped up. Shoot him with a shotgun, and it's dead in 2 shots. It's like, this is awesome. Forget Your Life asks, how far apart are the typewriters? They're not too far apart. Like I said before, the game is really expertly paced. And so they kind of do the Souls-like Metroidvania, just generally good level design thing of you have a checkpoint, like a main point, and you'll go off and explore, and then you'll open up a shortcut that takes you back to that main checkpoint. So you kind of have this one core save point, but you'll keep opening up shortcuts to go back to it that kind of allow you to explore further. And there are other save points elsewhere in the area. And this is just the first big area I'm talking about, just the mental hospital. There are other areas. You travel a lot in this game, especially as Leon. But yeah, the save, the typewriters are not too far apart. Leon stuff, wonderfully action heroic goofiness. He's full of one-liners. Like he always has the goofy 80s action hero one-liner ready after some big event, after he kills a boss. But what's really interesting is how much of a sequel this is to Resident Evil 2, because it has Leon and because you go back to Raccoon City at a certain point. You spend a short amount of time, but not insubstantial, exploring the old police station, which was like a huge famous level in Resident Evil 2. Like that's like the big main area that everybody who plays it remembers the police station. And it's just interesting to explore that location again. For me, not decades later, because Resident Evil Remake 2 came out just a few years ago. But, to revisit this location years later, that Leon has a character also hasn't revisited in years. There's a very interesting, similarity between me and him. There's like a couple cameos, like monsters, lickers come back in the final area. I think what's really neat what this game does is I said before that it marries those two versions of Resident Evil. So the last two games, the first person ones, they took place in like small European towns, and they didn't really have that moment in a Resident Evil game where you descend into an underground bunker, an underground laboratory. But this one does. And so it's interesting to kind of see all of the tropes and all of the monsters from the early Resident Evil games placed into this new format of first-person horror, where the monsters that you fought in Resident Evil 2 become the monsters that you hide from in Resident Evil 9. And
Trying to get to a spot where we see Leon.
Oh, keep going. What's
There we
interesting
go.
is you jump back and forth between them pretty quickly early on. You go like Grace, Leon, Grace, and then you're Grace for a good long time. And you kind of jump back to Leon shortly and then do more Grace for a long time. And then you'll play Leon for a long time. So it kind of jumps back and forth quickly in the beginning, and then it takes its time to really have you sit with these characters for a long time and kind of get used to that gameplay before it switches it up. Forget Your Life also asks, is Edie going to bartender school? What's going on in there?
What's going on? What do you think? What do you think is going on right now?
Is that the only way you can bear the bass?
Yes. Actually, it stopped.
Oh, good.
I decided to drink today. Instead of having coffee, I decided to make a cocktail because it's gorgeous outside. It's a very nice weekend. And why not? So I am having a cocktail I made for Nick called a Prestige.
Oh, I remember that one. That was good.
Yeah. Yep. Which is 1 part rum, 1 part.
Oh, in the game he just picked up like a liqueur. It was like connoisseur cream.
Huh?
What was it? In the game he just picked up what looked like a liquor bottle.
Let me see.
Go back like 10 seconds. Nope. Further. Further.
Really?
Okay, yeah. It's when he went into the pantry. Okay, yeah. What is
Connoisseur
that?
Charm.
Connoisseur Charm. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just,
oh yeah.
keeping
So
with
like,
the theme.
so like with Leon.
Yeah, 1 part rum, 1 part pineapple juice, a half part something called falernum, which is a liqueur, the citrusy liqueur, half part dry vermouth, and a half part lime juice. Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah. So like with Grace, you get the guns that are the guns. Then they're not particularly good guns. And ammo's limited. So when you come across a zombie, what's actually fun about the way that they work her, because she's not like a fighter, if you shoot a zombie a couple times, you'll stun it. And then you can run up and push the zombie over. And when it's on the ground, you just walk up and you shoot it in the head like 3 times as it's on the ground. And that's like the typical way Grace kills a zombie is like, bam, 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 bam,
bam, bam.
And like, it's a very inelegant solution, but it feels really appropriate for the character. Leon, at a certain point, gets a little wristband that keeps track of how many zombies he kills and gives him points for it that he can then spend upgrading his weapons. Like, that is how different these games are. Is one of them, you can't upgrade the weapon, and another one, you get points for kills in a very video gamey type of way. And it's kind of wild to think of how they combine these two completely different tones, but it does a good job of it because Resident Evil has always been, going back to the very first game, the beginning is always scary. And then in the end, it always becomes a little bit more actiony than horror. And this one just kind of admits, yeah, this is what we've always done. So we're just going to lean into it. Oh, yeah, Leon's got this badass axe that he can use to take out characters. So if you stun them, he just takes this axe, buries it into their skull. You can sneak up onto them, decapitate them in one swing. Yeah, very cool, very fun.
Burst their heads if you want to survive.
Impressively fun. Like, it's just a
Words to live by.
good game to play. It plays well. It feels good. The shooting feels really good. There
I'm
are
listening, by the way.
times. Okay, there's a moment in Leon's campaign where you fight against some. This isn't much of a spoiler, but you fight against some humans. They come in. They're like, oh, these guards. They come in, and it kind of turns into a first-person shooter. Like, I was thinking, wait, this is like Call of Duty. I'm fighting guys with machine guns in Resident Evil, but it actually feels really, really good. This is a better shooter than other shooters and a better horror game than other horror games at the same time.
Nice. So, what are you playing this on? What console?
PS5.
Yeah.
Yes. As
Um,
well, haven't noticed any issues with it.
Did you buy it, or are you playing it through some other system?
Oh, no, I bought it. I absolutely bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you paid full price?
I'm not getting free codes.
Did you pay free price? Did you play full price for it?
Yeah.
Not even on sale? I guess it wouldn't even be on sale at this point, would it?
No. A game like this that they know people want. Some games get like Cairn, when it came out, had a like 10% discount if you bought it the first week. But this is a big AAA game from Capcom, right? They're not gonna. They don't need any first week promotional sale to get people to line up to buy it.
True that. So how many hours are you into it at this point? And
how many hours am I into it? It's not as long as 8 was, which I think is good because 8 kind of dragged it a little bit in the end.
How far would you say into the game are you, like, percentage-wise? Are you halfway through or quarter way through?
Last night, I got a trophy that said the final mission. So I think I'm pretty close to the end.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow. So you killed that in what? A week?
2 weeks?
Oh, that's true. We were off last week.
Yeah. Played it for 15 hours.
Okay. That's still pretty short.
I mean,
is it a $60 game?
No, it's a $70 game.
A $70 game?
For 20 hours? Like 15 hours that I haven't played. I haven't finished it yet. There's at least another 5 hours.
Okay.
20 hours?
Yeah. All right.
20 hours of like actual quality fun experience. Yeah, I think that's worth it. Also, there's like a new game plus. You can play it over and over again. They have things like that to encourage the replayability.
Right. That was my next question is what's the replayability on it?
Oh, yeah. Like the Resident Evil always has things like that. Where once you beat the game, New Game Plus lets you kind of go through it in a more arcadey way. They encourage you to go through it faster. You unlock coins that you can use to buy like little model figures in an in-game shop. That's just like, hey, look at the model. Look at this character model. We spent a lot of time on this character model.
Mhm.
Like, we're going to give you a chance to unlock it so that you can view it. It's a very PS2, PS3 era type of bonus feature, but it's kind of nice because some of those models are like really fucking cool. Um, but like, I don't know, in terms of money per hour, it's nice to play a game like this that I think that whole money per hour argument is kind of bullshit. I think it's a terrible way to judge your time with something because
Mhm.
then you're min-maxing your entertainment. And that's I don't know, that's not fun. This is a 20-hour experience that's like highly curated, highly designed to be a roller coaster haunted house ride. It's like that's
Mhm.
a really like creatively intensive thing to take part in. Like I said, when I said it was like going through a haunted house, I mean that in the best way possible. That like this is a single player game made by people who really know how to do that, how to guide the player through a situation, when to present challenges, when to pull back. Like it's just such a thoughtfully designed game, and it's kind of nice to play that and not, hey, here's a big open world, kind of go do whatever you want. It's like, no, I want a ride. I want an authored experience, and this is definitely that.
Hmm. All right. Did you play any other games?
I did. So because my New Year's resolution was to come up with a new game every week, we
Mhm.
skipped last week, but that's why this
Mhm.
week I've got two games. I played another game where you're a government agent investigating creepy goings on at a remote mansion in the woods. I played Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 1 Re-Raptored Edition.
Okay.
So, do you remember me talking about Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion
Yes.
3?
Yes.
That was, as a quick recap, a kind of very cute, funny parody of Resident Evil games where you play as a guy investigating a creepy redneck mansion in search of a guy, evil genetic doctor, and you find that the mansion is overrun with dinosaurs. So it's like a parody of Resident Evil and Dino Crisis mixed together. But
Mhm.
the game itself was like a match 3 puzzle game where you are matching symbols to hack something, you're matching symbols to run away from something, you're matching symbols to fight a dinosaur, you're matching symbols to fight depression, you're matching symbols to open a
To get
gate.
through a gate. Yep.
Yeah. Um, and Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3 took on this really meta layer because the characters realized, oh, we're in a game. But Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3 never actually came out because it was shut down by the publisher. So we're in an unfinished game. What do we do? And so it had a lot of fun with that meta layer. Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 1 Re-Raptored is kind of similar in that it
So there
it
was no Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion
no,
1 to start off with. The
no,
Re-Raptored is the only version.
yes. Creepy
Okay.
Redneck Dinosaur, which is funny because, like, in 2 years, if someone finds this franchise, it technically starts with 3, then goes 1, but someone might go 1, 3, where's 2?
Right.
But I'll get to that. So, 1 stars a different character, Jack Breyer, who's like a tough, ooh, I'm a tough guy, tough FBI agent.
ATF. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, this is a much smaller game than 3. 3 had like interesting branching paths as you explored the mansion. It's all very like visual novel style game. And so as you explored these branching paths, you would encounter something like, oh, it sounds like there's a whistling coming from this crack in the wall. Oh, well, because you don't have the trait curious, you won't investigate that whistling sound. But then later on, as you go through the game, something will happen and you'll earn that trait, curious, which will then let you go back and investigate that crack. So, kind of, Metroidvania. Oh, you see something that's locked, you can't unlock it until you get the key. This game kind of has that, but it's a much more linear experience because I think 3 came out not too long ago, and so this game obviously had a much shorter development. It's a much smaller game, but I think it does some interesting things, and I think it also sets things up for a 2 re-raptored edition. Uh, it's a more linear experience, so there's less exploration. But the match 3 is more interesting because the abilities that you have kind of stack on top of each other in an interesting way. So the first game mainly was, or the third game was mainly, hey, these are some moves that you can do when you match enough threes. When you collect enough resources, you can execute these moves. In this one, they kind of play with combos where, oh, there's a move that will give me double damage until the end of my turn, but it immediately ends my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? Well, there's another ability that gives you an extra turn. So you execute that ability, then you execute the other ability. Now you still have another turn, you still have double damage. Then you can execute an ability that gives all of your attacks leech so that you get health every time you hurt. And then there's a certain attack that doesn't end your turn. So if you gather enough resources, you can execute this like 5-layer combo where you can just attack for double damage that then heals you. And so a lot of my time through the fights was spending a lot of time gathering resources while the enemy slowly hurt me all the way down until I got 25% health left. Then I would execute this big combo, get all of my health back, knock them halfway down, and then it's like, okay, let's do this again. But that's a really satisfying thing to execute, to build up the resources like that, to decide, oh, when do I want to execute this combo? That's really satisfying. And so I think they've actually made the match 3 sections more compelling than they were in the first game. But the real draw of these games is the writing, because they're really fun, they're goofy, they're funny. And this one leans into all of that. The characters realize, oh, Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3 did so well that now they're remastering the old game in the engine for Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3, which is why these characters are back again, because they're like, oh, we were in the engine. You're reusing that engine. But it ends on like kind of a weird note where it doesn't really feel like it's quite finished. But I assume that that's probably because they're prepping a Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 2 re-raptored. Because just the way that it ends, it really feels like you're setting up for something else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually really looking forward to that. I want to see how this story ends. I want to see what happens to these goofball characters. And I kind of want to see what happens. I want to see lore-wise what happens with the Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion franchise, because you always get like little developer logs that you find, and it's such a good lot of jokes about game development and about how, oh yeah, this guy, this one artist made concept art for a T-Rex tank, a Tank Rex. And the publisher was like, this is fucking stupid, you're fired. And they're like, oh man, it really sucks to lose this person, but yeah, he was not aligned with our vision. Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and
There's
yeah.
a self-awareness to it that sounds like it's kind of awesome.
Yes, a big self-awareness.
Yeah. All right, so that's TP Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 1 re-raptored.
Yeah.
What else did you play? Anything else?
That's it for now.
Oh, okay. I didn't play much because I was away from my computer for most of the time. I did play a little bit more Mugenics, and Mugenics still fantastic game. Definitely can eat your day, as I found out when I loaded it up one afternoon when nobody was in the office and it was just me, and I'm like, I'm gonna play a little Mugenics while at work, and then I realized it was 7:30 and I need to go home. It's good that
No,
way.
you were just working late.
Yeah, I was working late.
Your boss sees you walk out the door at 7:30, and he's like, Good job,
Good
Edie.
job. Good job.
Yeah, you're putting in the hours.
But I did play, I have been playing quite a lot of Slay the Spire. I haven't played Slay the Spire 2 because I don't believe it's on mobile yet. I haven't seen it, but I've got the Apple Arcade now. I'm trying to get the most out of it before I cancel it.
Hmm.
And Slay the Spire, still great game, as we all know. And I decided to start looking for something else just to, see what's out there. And came across a game that I've never played. It's been out for quite some time. I never played it, but I was curious about it, and it's on mobile. It is still being updated. In fact, it's the only version of it that exists that is still being updated, and that is Goddess. Uh, where did it go?
Wait, was that's the Peter Molyneux game?
Yeah, it's a Peeler Molyneux game. Why did the banner go away? Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
Goddess.
that's
Oh,
that's the godlike game, right? That's
God
not the
game.
one. That's not the cube game, right?
No, that was what was it? Find the cube, slay this cube, something
The
like that.
cube?
No.
It was no. Okay, but wait, wasn't it the person who got to the center of the cube got like some bonus for goddess? Like they became the god
Yeah.
of goddess.
No, they became the god of something. I don't know. And they also, I guess, get cash or something. I don't know. But yeah, Goddess is available still on mobile. It
Huh?
is it's a god game. It's fine. It's actually
Mm.
not a very good game on mobile at all.
Oh,
It just it I can see what they wanted to do. It just does not work very well with the controls the way that they are. You play a god overseeing pre a tribe of humans. You start with just 2 humans and you're trying to lead them to a promised land. And once they have the promised
very
land,
biblical.
yeah, then you try to keep them happy and keep them building and growing and starting stuff out. You can create more followers by having your builders um, build more like places to live. Your god abilities come from being able to move
Now they're
your
safe. They want to breed and expand.
right. Well, no, they just to keep expanding until they get to the level where they can create breeders. Then the breeders breed and expand, but the builders keep building.
Oh, so
You
it's pro forced breeding.
but not pro force breeding. You're just creating a civilization.
Oh yeah.
But your god qualities, your god abilities come with the ability to be able to move. Let me see if I can get it. You can move, drag out the land, and land comes in different layers, and they can
Hmm.
only climb up one layer at a time. So you move layers.
Okay.
Uh, and then you can lead them to their promised land, and then you can create new real estate for them to be able to build on by making layers shrink or expanding layers. It's a very complicated game, to say the least, because it seems very easy at the beginning. And oh, by the way, they worship you. Like they every time you move the ground, they like stick their hands up in the air, going, "You're a god. We love you."
Naturally,
And you
naturally.
earn points from belief by you
Okay.
being able to them believing in you. Um, so yeah, it's at a certain point you get to where you can send them off on build a dock and they can go off to sail to other lands. And it's you encounter other things in other lands. You try to capture temples and you get points for capturing other temples in other lands. Most of them are uninhabited. Occasionally, you come across somebody who's got a adversary, and until you can get weapons, you can't go any farther than that because they will kill you very easily. So yeah, you end up. It's I played it probably I would say 2 or 3 hours just lying around, sitting, doing nothing, and it was all right. It wasn't that great.
Mm.
it's at a certain point, I lost interest and realized, all right, not only am I losing interest, it's also getting unnecessarily complex. I could
Hmm.
definitely feel the hand of Molyneux in it, to say the least. And there's a part of me that wants to trust him and just keep playing, that eventually it will be something that's addictive, but it's really not. I would not recommend it. I'm glad I didn't buy it. I got it on Apple Arcade. I would say if you have Apple Arcade, sure, try it. I'd say the first 3 hours are entertaining enough, but you're
Okay, a
still
way
learning
to
so much more of the mechanics. There's so much mechanics involved. In
hmm.
fact, I'm kind of interested to go a little further just to see what other kind of mechanics there are. Oh, really?
Okay,
That
reach a
far in and
population
he's
of
still doing it?
16.
Oh, yeah, I'm well past this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It looks like on the account this is like 10 hours.
It's 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh, are these what are these? Are these missions? Are these card
these are
packs?
cards that are the cards are
What?
technology, and the cards are
Oh,
always
okay.
available, but you have to have stickers in order to make them work and put a sticker on them, and some of them require 1 sticker, some of them require 4
Hmm.
stickers, and you find the stickers by finding chests, and you can I don't know if you can see in the upper left-hand corner that little stuff that's kind of looks like leaves jumping up.
Yeah.
Underneath the ground there is a chest, and
Mm.
you can reveal it by moving the terrain to reveal the chest. You can open the chest and you get a sticker, and that allows you to activate certain the abilities that you have available to be activated at that time based on where you currently are.
Okay. Hmm.
It's not that great. I'm still looking for a good mobile game that's going to make me, unable to deliver order. Wait, what? Hold on a second. Um, why don't you isn't there something you can talk about right now? Because unfortunately, it looks like our maybe the guy came to the door and didn't
Could he not get through your gate?
I told him how to get through my gate.
Yeah, I can talk about an update to Where Winds Meet, which
Oh, okay.
actually
You do
got
that.
its first major expansion.
All right.
Uh,
I'm still listening. Just I'm going to remove myself for a second.
okay. I'm gonna look up to see if I can find some video of this. But yeah, uh, I forget. I don't actually know the developer name. Who the heck makes Where Winds Meet? Anyways, it doesn't matter. They put out their expansion. Originally the game had like 2 big areas to explore, and now they've added a third. And what's interesting about this third one is it's all very metaphysical. It's all very fantasy. It's not connected to the other 2 worlds. You have to kind of do this side quest, and then you enter a dream, and you encounter that you emerge in this big desert area. It's really impressive looking. Where Winds Meet Hexy, I believe. Yeah, Hexy is the name of the new location. And okay, let's show a video from who is this? Savo Games. Savo Games doing a 7 things that you should see in Hexy. But yeah, it's this big desert area. So it's a completely different biome than what we've seen before, than what the game has shown off before, which is all very kind of Chinese fantasy. A lot of big trees, a lot of big rocks, a lot of greenery. Uh, so yeah, it's kind of just cool to have a new area to explore that's so visually different. I haven't even finished exploring the second area, and they've added in this big third one, and it's got a whole new main quest, a whole new bunch of side quests, which is nice because some of the things that you do in this game on a weekly basis are like little like daily missions that you can do. And the fact that this new area adds in a couple new like alternatives to those daily missions. It's just a nice bit of variety instead of doing the same thing again and again. Hey, I've got a slightly new thing to do over and over again. But I think the most fun is some of the new enemies. Like you fight these crazy bird creatures. Let's see if I can find one in here. Uh oh no, he's going through all of the like checkpoints and other stuff. He's going through all the oh yeah, there's new those weapons suck though. Yeah, he's going through all the menu stuff, which granted is a lot of what this game is. It's a lot of navigating through menus and kind of figuring out using that to improve your character. But yeah, it's just a nice area to explore. I think as a single player game, that's what keeps me coming back to this is that there are still areas in the world that I haven't explored. There's still boss fights that I haven't done. Uh, in the second area, I've finished the main quest and I've almost kind of fully explored it. So I kind of felt like I was getting towards the end of my time with the game. But then they added this, and I'm kind of back in it now. I also think, like pulling back a little bit, one of the reasons that I keep playing this is because it's a live service game that doesn't require a whole bunch of time investment. It's a live service game where you can kind of complete all of the challenges for a week before the week is over. So a lot of the stuff that you can do, a lot of like the alternative currencies you can earn, have a weekly cap. But you can meet that cap if you just play for like a couple days. So it's like a live service game that doesn't demand that you play every single day, which I find really refreshing. And what I realized, someone mentioned it in Reddit, that's probably because in China there was a whole issue about kids spending too much time playing MMOs like years ago, and China actually implemented a law. I don't know the details of it, but a law limiting how much time kids can play a game. It's like, oh, it's limited to an hour or to a couple hours. But I think that limitation is what kind of forced the developers to create a live service game that doesn't require so much of your time, which I actually think is kind of great. It's kind of allows for a more casual approach to a live service game instead of having it be the only game you play. It's much easier to fit this game in between Resident Evil sessions because I can play this for 30 minutes to an hour like every other day and have fun exploring the world, this new location, and get all the credit for that and kind of max out the credit just doing that. And then I go back to Resident Evil for, 8 hours at a time. But it's that interesting balance that it strikes that I don't know. I feel like other live service games don't, especially a lot of the cooperative shooters, a lot of the competitive shooters really want to be the thing you play all the time obsessively. And I deeply appreciate whether it's just the developers making a more casual experience or whether it's forced upon them by the laws of China. Uh, I appreciate that this is like a more casual MMO slash live service slash whatever. Yeah. So I'm still playing that. And let's see. AC Ray says, for now, Warframe didn't have all of its farming early on either. Live service games boil you slowly. I can believe that. I think I've now spent enough time in it that I can very clearly see the like where the grinding comes from. There are some abilities called inner ways, and if you want to max those out, excuse me, that will obviously take a massive amount of grinding. But I think what's interesting about the way the game is structured, there are these sects, and the sects are basically online classes. And I've talked about trying to join the Sexy Divorcees sect with Edie, trying to get married and then get divorced in time so that I get that invite. Each of those sects kind of have different daily requirements, and each of them have a different costume you can earn if you rank up high enough. Ranking up high in each of those sects is not particularly difficult. Like, it might take some doing, but it's kind of like a weekly mission. Hey, what are you going to do in Where Winds Meet this week? Oh, I'm going to try to rank up on this sect. So it kind of becomes this one-time fun activity, and then you rank up. You earn enough of the credit to. Let me come back to the start. Yeah. You rank up, you earn enough credits to buy the costume, and then you join a different sect. Rank up, buy the costume, join a different sect. And like, you can do all that pretty much on your own solo. And so I think the game kind of does this interesting thing where it makes all of its money through cosmetics, but it also uses a couple cosmetics to kind of guide your single player gameplay. Hey, if you complete this story mission, you get a costume. If you complete this other thing, you get a costume. So even though all the money comes from costumes, they allow a single player per player who's not really paying for all those costumes to still kind of participate in that cosmetic fun and the whole dress up fun of a game like this by unlocking an impressive amount of cosmetics. And I feel like that's something that a lot of games don't do anymore. Unless, an Elden Ring or, uh, you know, a, a single player game like that, a live service game doesn't really offer many cosmetics for free, especially when that's the only way they're making money is through cosmetics. Like, they don't give that stuff away for free, but I feel like they should, because I'm much more invested in the cosmetic shop if I'm given items for free that kind of force me into that whole ecosystem. And this one does that. It gives enough away for free that I kind of keep coming back. I mean, Edie was talking about dollars per hour earlier, and even though I don't think that's a good measurement of like the quality of a game, I've definitely gotten a lot of game out of this for relatively little money. So if that's an issue for you, again, I would recommend this game. But yeah, that's just what I've been playing in between Resident Evil sessions. Let's see. Is Edie back again? Edie?
Like a few minutes ago. I mean, a couple of hours ago.
Okay. No, she's not. She's not. Okay, then I guess I will go on to news. Let's see if I can find news sounder. This is the GameHounds news something. Oh god, I forget what Edie always says. The news that you lose something blah blah blah, whatever. We're here to talk about news. Okay. What would be a good... Okay. So Sony for the past couple years has kind of seen this renewed interest in putting games out on PC. I believe Spider-Man came to PC. I don't know if Spider-Man 2 came to PC. I think it did. God of War came to PC. Last of Us did. Returnal did. They've been porting a lot of the games to PC. Now, there's a lot of talk about how they are pulling back from that. And Soros has no PC port planned for it. Ghost of Yotai has no PC port planned for it. And they're probably not going to have PC ports for anything else, too. Death Stranding 2 just came to PC, but that's also not a Sony published game. That's from Kojima Productions. And so there's a lot of speculation about what is going on with this. And let's see. GameIndustry.biz has a story about how the PC ports from Sony's games are not actually selling super well. And
By the way, I'm back.
Oh, okay.
But before we go any further, sorry about that. I am having groceries delivered, and I got a notification that the groceries couldn't be delivered for some reason. So I had to kind of go through their proof yet again. AI doesn't work. I had to call their AI agent, which was oh so helpful. So we're going to hit the news. We're going to do it right. We'll come back to the Sony pulling the PC ports in a moment. But first, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our news. All right. And sorry about this, guys. It's because this is for the podcast. We are actually adding ads in the center because we're trying to optimize the amount of money that we make. Incidentally, if you would like to help us not have to worry about making money on the podcast from advertising, really great way to do that is to go to our patreon.com/GameHounds. We only ask $1 a month to help offset the costs of things because the struggle is real. The rent's too damn high, and it's not just the rent in your house, it's the rent in all of the things that we need to pay for in order to make this thing possible. So if you would like to help offset the cost of this, if you like the content that we're making, we'd appreciate it if you'd go to patreon.com/GameHounds. $1 a month is all we ask. If you average it out, that's like 25 cents a show. And considering that all the shows tend to be like 2 to 3 hours, that's a pretty good deal for a bunch of information content. So again,
talking about dollars per hour of entertainment.
Dollars per hour of entertainment.
Provide.
We're the best deal out there. So gamehounds.com/Patreon in order to help sponsor us, help us keep the show going. All right. That being said, we're coming back in 3, 2, and we're back here at GameHounds. All right. So let's hit the news stick.
Okay, I already did all the news. I did the banner.
Okay,
I did it. No, I did it fine. I did it correctly. I said your whole spiel word for word exactly as you always do.
No, well, but you didn't
I did it
play
exactly.
The news sounder. Did you play the news sounder?
I did. Yes.
No,
I did
you
it all
didn't.
perfectly.
You liar. You liar.
Oh no, I did the news sounder. Everything else was great too, and you should not go back and listen to it. Just trust me. Take my word for it.
All right.
Take my word.
So let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with gamer Edie, Nick, Nicola.
News
and I can tell that you did.
That's what it is. News views. I was
news and commentary.
News lose? Do you lose news? News and
I can tell you did play the news sounder because the news sounder was at the end. You actually stopped it.
Oh yeah,
the news sounder right here.
Yeah,
there we go.
That thing goes on forever.
It does. And you just let it play out. You just let it play out. You don't have to stop it. You just let it play out. Do I need to tell you how to do the show, Nick? It's only been like a decade that you've been doing the show.
You have your way of doing the show. I have my way of doing the show.
All right. So anyway, Sony pulls back on the PC ports.
So yeah, they're pulling back on the PC ports. GameIndustry.biz reported that the company is losing share to newer releases, but that's mainly because of the timing. That waiting a year to put the game out on PC naturally kind of leads to less sales because interest in the game has faded. And that other publishers that put the game out on PC at the same time obviously see a higher percentage of PC sales in relation to sales overall.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, the ports may not be financially worth it given Sony's interest in keeping them exclusive to PS5 for a number of times. But then there's also speculation that's pretty well founded with all the talk of the next Xbox playing PC games. Sony doesn't want their games playable on an Xbox just because they're playable on a PC.
Yep, exactly.
So if Xbox expands its scope, PlayStation has to narrow its scope in order to maintain exclusivity.
Now, did Sony make this announcement after the announcement?
They didn't make any announcement. This is just like internal stuff that's like Jason Schreier reporting that Sony's pulling back from PCs, reports that Soros and Ghost of Yotai don't have any PC ports in their future. So this is kind of reading the tea leaves based on reporting and leaks.
So they knew about the new Xbox announcement before anybody else did.
I mean, okay, we can get into the Xbox announcement, but the thing is, I think
That's
that
kind of the most important one. That's the one that's leading to this. I'm surprised you did not start with that.
because you were indisposed.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
But I think that announcement is kind of a bit of a wet fart because we knew that. Rumors that the next Xbox would play PC games. That's something that Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond had talked about previously.
Right.
Like that's not new information. And so
The fact that it
Sony,
has a name to it of Project
I mean,
Phoenix,
it's always
that's
had that
new.
name. They just
It's
announced the name.
right. It's the confirmation of that.
Yeah. I believe that Sony was probably looking at those PC ports and going, okay, financially, this isn't worth it to us because we wait too long to put them out. And then they hear all these background noise about how the next Xbox is going to play PC. Valve, if the Steam machine comes out, all of a sudden you could play PlayStation games in your living room on a TV on a Steam machine instead of a PlayStation. And so I think just those things probably weighed on their mind enough that they decided if we want PlayStation games on PlayStation, we can't also be on PC because PC is becoming a console. And so if we want our games exclusive to our console, we can't put on PC because PC is now a new console.
Right. So yeah, incidentally, I wasn't allowed to watch the entire thing, but I happened to be at Chris's place when it went live. So I saw the first couple of minutes of the Xbox announcement of the new console. Now, I was not there when they made the announcement. I was actually driving. And he said that there was an announcement made and it's big. But one thing I did hear that was very interesting was that Sad Nutella did say that, everybody's talking about how I'm going towards AI and this is all going to be, it's like one of the first things he said when the thing started. Everybody's talking about how we're all going to AI and how Gen AI is taking over Xbox. He goes, I've spent 10 times the amount on gaming than I have spent on AI.
Well, that's obviously not true.
He's like, I have spent so much money on gaming. And of course, everybody in the room is like, wee! But it's like, really? Have you? But he made a point of like trying to assure employees that he is committed to gaming and not just switching everything over to AI, which I found remotely interesting that he would actually say that, sort of. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, the snake oil salesman is telling you he's not a snake oil salesman.
Yeah,
I trust.
true.
You know what? If he says he's trustworthy, that clearly means he's trustworthy.
By the way, is anybody interested in purchasing a Sad Nutella t-shirt? Because I do have a Sad Nutella graphic to put on t-shirts. I actually used conveniently enough, I used AI to create a Sad Nutella to put on a t-shirt. Have no problem saying it's AI slop because I have no ability and no money to spend on a designer to create Sad Nutella. So
I mean, selling that might be a little odd, but I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad using AI to make it because that's like a kid making fun of his parent.
Yeah.
You're using the Sad Nutella against the Sad Nutella.
I am. So yeah, and it's pretty adorable. So if you're all interested possibly in owning a Sad Nutella t-shirt, which only you will understand what Sad Nutella means, you and the rest of the GameHound Nation, let me know. So yeah, there it is. Actually, I have a slightly better one now. There it is. There's the Sad Nutella.
Yeah. When he sent that to me, I laughed. I thought that was good. Um, but yeah, okay. So
So,
all of this talk,
yes,
like,
yes.
they have this meeting, they talk about gaming, and Asha not
Sharma.
Shawarma,
Shawarma. Sharma.
Sharma, Shawarma.
Sharma.
What
Asha
is
Sharma.
what is the food?
Shawarma.
Shawarma. Okay, Asa Sharma.
Don't should we call Sad Nutella standing next to a shawarma? Oh my god, this is getting to be like a whole diorama of food related to Microsoft.
Don't put the Nutella on the shawarma because that implies
Got
so
you
many
got
different
your
things.
Nutella on my shawarma. You got your shawarma on my Nutella. Two great tastes that absolutely do not go well together.
Asha Sharma.
Asha Sharma.
Okay, gotta remember that.
Mhm.
Um, he makes a big deal. Oh, the next Xbox console is called Project Helix, and it will play your Xbox and PC games. And I see all these news stories about, oh, Asha announces the new console. Oh, they do this. Asha, the what's like Xbox under Asha? It's this new console. But that's all bullshit
Mhm.
because this is what Phil and Sarah were working on. This is what they were building towards. This is their project.
Yeah.
So my conspiracy theory is that Sad Nutella booted out Phil and Sarah so quickly because they knew they were going to announce details about this console at GDC. He wanted to get them the fuck out of Xbox ASAP so that Asha could come in, make these announcements, and get all of the credit and all of the glory for being associated with the next Xbox console.
Agreed. Agreed. Absolutely no question. That's exactly what happened.
And so I
That,
think she's going to
she needed to
spend
make the announcement, not Phil, because if
she,
Phil made the announcement and then she came in, then it would be Phil's box made by Asha.
and she's going to spend this whole year. If Halo on PS5 sells well, if the new Gears sells well, if the new Forza does well, she's going to spend this whole year taking credit for the stuff that was put in place, the car going down the mountain, for all the stuff that Phil and Sarah did. Like their efforts kind of rebuilding Xbox, rebuilding the software side of it. Hardware side completely fucked. But like they did a good job building up the software. It took them way too long, but Xbox finally has stuff coming out on a regular basis. But now that it has stuff coming out on a regular basis, Asha's going to sweep in and take all the credit for it, having
Yes.
done absolutely nothing to deserve it. So yeah, that's I I still do not trust her vision of it, if only
Mhm.
because of her close association with AI,
No. No.
and because
And
of Microsoft's overall obsession with AI and the way that Xbox has kind of always been this redheaded stepchild of the company.
yes.
So having Microsoft get more involved with Xbox feels like a recipe for disaster.
Mhm.
Um, but seeing like the Switch, and the Switch like has a promise of change. I'm gonna reinvest in the consoles that Phil fucked. Uh when and make this announcement, which is exactly what it's very clear that like she's set up to take the glory for other people's work. And that really doesn't help like make her better or more respectable in my eyes. But what's frustrating is that it feels like a lot of the gaming media falls for it and says, "Oh yeah, this is Xbox under Asha." It's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
This is her coasting on the work of her
Yes.
predecessors.
So essentially, her first 2 years are going to be an absolute cakewalk because all she has to do is oversee an idea that was created by somebody else. Oh, there we go. Here we are. All right, hold on a second. Give me a second. I've got something for you. Hold on a second. Uh, hold on. So yeah, she's got 2 years of coasting, bringing to life an idea that somebody else came up with, that somebody else kind of already outlined. Now, that being said, she still has to bring it to market. And if it's a good idea, I mean, I think it is a good idea, but if it's executed poorly, this 100% goes on her record. So I don't know that it's necessarily a cakewalk and we should, hold it. I don't say hold it against her, but we shouldn't just say, she's done nothing. She's still going to have to make this happen.
That's true. Like, look, the oh my god. Um,
Yay or
what was I
nay?
gonna say?
Any changes you want made to that? Because it's all Gen AI. I could just tell it what to do.
It's a little the Shroom was a little weirdly happy.
Yeah, I did told it to make it happy. She's
Okay,
super happy. She's totally upbeat. You haven't seen her talk. She is amazingly chipper.
okay, then that's fair.
Yeah.
I appreciate that there's nothing about this that gives context.
None whatsoever. You have to only if you know will you know that it is Sad Nutella and Asha shawarma.
Yes. Um,
Anyway,
okay, wait. I was gonna say something. Oh, yes, she does still have to bring it to market, and they've
it could
talked
be
about
done very poorly. It could be
the
done very right, but
oh,
it also could be done very badly,
I have
especially given that she's coming into a market that is going to have the steam machine, and and I know that the steam machine is going to do this 100% right. And on top of that, the valve is already I'm sure, anticipating what things Xbox will do with its machine that it or not do with its machine because of its corporate overlords that Valve can take advantage of, that Valve can engineer around the shortcomings of whatever Asha puts out. She doesn't have a very easy time of this. And in fact, to be honest, I'm going to say that Phil had an easier time of this project because all he had to do was come up with the idea and get it to this point. Now she's got to actually make it happen in a market where there is a very, very significant competitor, and the only thing holding that competitor back is access to the parts. And they
which
can make a better
conveniently
machine because
Microsoft control.
they don't have a bunch of shareholders standing over their shoulders going, "Are you making 20% on this? Are you growing the company 20% year over year?" We can't do this because it was going to screw with the rest of our ecosystem. All they're going to do is make the very, very, very best machine, and they're going to take advantage of any shortcomings that that box has. I'm
Okay.
I don't I don't I don't envy her for this.
I'm working on a 4D, no, 5D chess conspiracy.
Mhm.
I think Sad Nutella has always been a supporter of Xbox, always been a hardcore supporter. So much so that he saw the future and realized if I invest everything into I can buy all of the computer parts that make it impossible for anyone else to make a console except Microsoft and Xbox. We will be the only person making consoles because we'll be the only person who has all of the components. That's what Sad Nutella was doing. See, he's buying up all of the pieces all for Xbox. So when he said he put billions into gaming, he means that all the money spent on AI was really spent in support of gaming.
I don't think that it's not a stupid idea.
It
It's not
kind
a
of is.
stupid
It kind
idea.
of is.
No, it's sort of not because it is the one right now. This Project Helix, the only competitor, air quote, to it in the marketplace is going to be the Steam Machine. This is going to go head to head with the
There's
Steam Machine.
also PS6. They're
Yes and
consoles.
no. Yes, it's competing against PS6, but also they've always competed against PlayStation. The new player, the new guy, that's the one that is like, "Hey," going to PlayStation, it's like, "Hey,
There's there's
I
also
hate you, you hate
definitely
me, but we both hate him, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend."
there's also the issue that like PlayStation has kind of established itself as like the video game console. This new Xbox and the Steam machine are both kind of trying to do the same thing of put PC gaming in the living room. So
Right,
they
exactly. A
both
hybrid
have
a hybrid machine. They're putting a
yeah,
PC in a console box. The
and so
convenience
they
of a
they
of
have
a
those
console.
exact same goals.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying that these are 2 head-to-head competitors with pretty much the exact same product in function, and maybe not in form, but certainly in function. And Valve is the small player, and Xbox does have the resources to be able to make decisions about purchasing parts. It's the only whatever advantage Valve has in the market to be able to create a machine that can take advantage of the shortcomings or the hindrances that Microsoft has in creating this new Xbox that might not make it as consumer friendly because they've got the overlords and they've got their existing market and they've got all these ecosystems that they need to not conflict with
Yeah,
that Valve
Windows.
doesn't has. Right.
Windows is just kind of a pain in
Right.
the ass to work with.
They have to put Windows on this machine. Right
Yes.
there is hamstringing them that
And
Valve doesn't have to do.
yeah, because you can see this in the Rogue Ally X. That has their FSE, like the thing
Mhm.
that was supposed to merge Xbox and Windows, but it didn't quite work. And people are like, yeah, if the new Xbox has this, people aren't going to be happy.
Right.
So they need
So
to improve that.
they've got their own limitations in creating the best possible box that Valve doesn't have. That being said, the one advantage that they do have, the one play that they can make in this chess game, whether it's 2D, 3D, or 5D, the one play they can make is they can bogart the parse. They can absolutely disrupt the market for Valve to be able to bring that machine to market. Whoever and that they could get there, theoretically, they could get there first.
And Valve has a new player has like less sway with the hardware manufacturers. I
Yep,
saw a
yep.
rumor this week that it was an analyst talking about Sony delaying the PS6, and they said no, they probably won't. So the PS6 is like also scheduled to come out in like end of 27, and they said Sony doesn't want to delay that because their contract with TSMC, the chip
Mhm.
manufacturer, like they have a priority tier with TSMC because they've been a customer for so long. They have that reliable contract with them.
Right.
If they delay the PS6 too far, that contract would then get bumped. They become less of a priority customer. And
Mhm.
that would probably cost them more than the component costs. So Sony
Right.
might just pay for more expensive components because it would be more expensive to lose that priority with TSMC.
Right, to lose that window of opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and
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 y
AC
y
Ray says he missed the initial Sad Nutella joke, so he was just staring blankly until he looked up the
oh,
CEO's
come
name.
on, really? How did you miss that we've been calling
I wouldn't
Satya
market the shirt.
Nadella
Once you know
Sad
the joke,
Nutella?
yes, and I've said it does read as white people mispronouncing non-white names on purpose. And I've said, is it a little bit racist to call him Sad Nutella? Yes, he is, but I also think he's a terrible person and a terrible CEO who has like kind of ruined Microsoft, and I don't respect him at all. I think he
Mm-mm,
deserves a little bit of
mm-mm,
hate
mm-mm.
thrown his
Yeah,
way.
yeah, this has nothing to do with his non-white name. It just happens to be that his name sounds like Nutella, and if he was Phil Spencer with that last name, we would absolutely be making fun of him too. Anybody I mean, come on, we make fun of everybody. All I have to do is do the Don Matrick rant. But
But yes,
bottom
it's
line,
good. It's good in joke. But yeah, I don't know if I'd sell the shirt.
yeah, bottom line is that is the one chess move that they have in that marketplace is that they have an awful lot of money that the investors are awfully okay with spending under the auspices of AI. Ensuring that our EAI investment is supported in the future by buying all of the components we possibly can. Now, if it happens to fuck over Valve, all the better. But yes, I can. If Sad Nutella has not decided to do that, then I would question his ability as a CEO. That's exactly the kind of thing he wants to do. Because the
I
only
don't
advantage they
think it
have right
is.
now is to make the Steam machine as expensive as it possibly could be by making sure that the prices of the components are as high as they possibly can be for Valve and to come to market first.
So they might be able to come to market first just because, Valve is hesitant to spend the money on the components and Microsoft Xbox is not. But what we've seen, and like previously, Sarah Bond has said the next Xbox will be a high-end machine. It will play Xbox and PC games.
Mhm.
And Microsoft Xbox has shown its unwillingness to subsidize hardware sales, at least recently. They upped the cost of the Xbox with the tariffs. They've upped the cost of the Rogue Ally. Even after release, they've upped the cost for the Rogue Ally in different territories. So they do not strike me as a company at this time that's willing to subsidize the cost. Like, we're going to make $1,000 machine and sell it for 500. That's not what they're going to do. They will make $1,000 machine and they'll sell it for $1,000. But that means that whatever cost issues Valve has, Xbox has those exact same issues
True,
because they will
but
not eat the cost.
they will make sure that Valve cannot possibly undercut them. Look, all you have to do is look at the
And
announcement
that's
that came
true.
out from Apple and the overwhelming positive response. Apple made an announcement a low-end computer for $500. And the overwhelming excitement, like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. Great idea. Apple's on it. This is going to sell like crazy, and it will. That's where the market needs to be. They know that if they want to sell these things off, just have them rolling off the shelf, is undercut everyone by price. Price has always been the thing that you can guarantee will undercut your competition at all times for all things. Offer the lowest price. If they're saying that this is going to be a high-end machine at a high-end price, they want to ensure that whatever Valve is going to sell is more expensive or the same price. Because if they lose on price, they lose on this console. Period. The end. If Valve can offer something that is even remotely close to what Xbox does, and they can do it for $200 cheaper, they will win.
I agree with you, but I still don't think they're willing to eat those costs.
I don't think they're willing to eat those costs. That's what I'm saying, is that's why they want to juice whatever market. I mean, that's kind of like on top of everything else that Valve has to deal with getting this to market. Not only the AI, draining of components, but they also have to worry about Microsoft, whatever slop they have, whatever little edge that they have, Microsoft is going to absolutely ensure that there is no wiggle room on this. Pardon me, I have to plug in my computer.
Okay.
They're going to make sure what?
So what I'm wondering is in her announcement, Asha said, and I'm guilty of this as well. I said, "Oh, one of the reasons that they kicked Phil and Sarah out so quickly is because they want to talk about this console at GDC." But in her tweet, She says, looking forward to chatting about this more with partners and studios at my first GDC next week. She doesn't say anything about the public. She doesn't say anything about announcing
Well,
it
the
or
public
talking more
really
to
isn't
people.
at GDC really isn't at.
But that's my point. I wonder, will we see any more information at GDC?
Probably
And
not.
I did see, I forget who wrote it, but I want to give them credit because they're the only person that mentioned this. Um, last year GDC is when they kind of officially unveiled the Xbox Rogue Ally X. And there was one particular guy who was doing a GDC talk where they announced that. And he also has a GDC talk this year. So
Mhm.
if there was a place that they would talk about consoles, it would probably be the guy who announced the Xbox Rogue Ally X. But I feel like mentioning this and then mentioning GDC in the same tweet kind of primes people. And so if we don't get more information at GDC next week, I feel like people will be let down. I feel like this is a potentially shoot yourself in the foot
Maybe.
situation.
I think we'll find out some information, but it's all gonna be fluff. It's not gonna be anything substantive. She's gotta obviously say something to someone, because that's gonna be the number one thing everybody's going to want to talk to her about, including journalists, because GDC is game developers and journalists. It is
Yeah.
not open to the public. It is not
Well, it
E3.
is
It is
open to the
not
public. I think you can buy a ticket. It's just
you can,
it's
but
not a
that's
place you go
not
for demos. It's a place for
mm-mm.
technical talk.
It's not where they make a lot of announcements. GDC is does never been really a place where announcements are made. It is really
Sometimes
for
there's
developers,
something
by
out.
developers. It's not E3 was always the thing where you could actually talk to the marketplace because you were talking
Yeah.
to hedge funds, you were talking to retailers, you were talking to people trying to get them excited to put stuff on their shelves or to buy your stock. So, really, that element is kind of gone because E3 is gone. PAX is for talking to consumers. GDC is for talking about developers with some journalists rolled in up in the mix that will hear things being chatted about um, and report on them. Will they use this for an opportunity to get some more information out? Absolutely, because it's going to be at the talk of it's going to be on everybody's mind. Everybody is going to be talking about it. Will it be substantive? I don't think they're at the stage where they can be substantive. I don't think they're at that stage of development. This is she's literally been on the job for 1 week.
Oh yes, she has. She has. But like they've been work on this console has been ongoing for a while.
Yeah. I don't think that there's going to be much really that's going to come out about this. I mean, they didn't have any date on it. And I know that the
No.
Steam machine, in fact, we'll kind of sort of get onto that, is that there was some discussion or some concern that the Steam machine was going to be moved to 2026 or out of 2026. It would be not make a 2026 release, despite the fact that they originally had said it was going to come out in 2026. Then they started hitting issues with parts, and then they released a statement where they had said, quote, "Here's the lineup of software and we announced in 2025. We shared recently that there have been challenges with memory and storage shortages, but we will be shipping all three products this year more." Let's see, that's not it. The
Okay, but they
original
said
story had
that they
said
will be
that they
shipping this year.
hoped,
Oh,
"We hope to ship in 2026, but as we shared recently, memory and storage shortages have created challenges for us. We'll share publicly when we finalize our plans." That was the first thing that they reported, which of course lit everybody on fire going, "Oh, it's not coming out in 2026, or it may push to 2027 or possibly later." They since came back and said, "Yes, we are committed to shipping in 2026." I think the original quote is probably more accurate. than the second quote, the update. I think that the update was more to stop panic,
Damage
especially with
control.
damage control, especially with the announcement of Project Helix. They don't want to say that they're slipping to 2027 because of the shortages, because that's blood in the water for Microsoft to ensure that those shortages remain as long as they possibly can. If it costs them a bunch of money to buy and to bogart every contract into 2028, they absolutely will, and they'll pay a premium for it, but they will do it to ensure that there are no parts available on the open market for Valve to be able to get their hands on by locking up all of the producers, locking them up into long-term contracts like Sony did. So, I am predicting, AC Wraith, you can go ahead and add this to my predictions. I think that the Steam Machine is going to push to 2027. At least. Because I don't think that Microsoft will allow enough of a availability for Valve to be able to appreciably make these machines in any amount. That's the other thing they could do. They could make it so small that they can't put enough of them on the market to create enough of a dent to be able to be a competition for Xbox.
I
If you
mean,
can get an
well, you say
Xbox
that. You
on
say
every
that.
shelf and you can't get a Steam machine.
So here's what will be very interesting.
Mhm.
There was an analyst. Okay, first of all, AC Ray said I still take the machine with Linux over the machine with Windows.
I
Probably,
think everybody would. Everybody
um,
would. That's what I'm saying, is that everybody
but
wants the Steam machine. I don't think that they want the Xbox, but if you're looking at a shelf in Christmas in 2026 and there's Xboxes on the shelves in 2026 and there's no Steam machines until
well,
maybe 2027, or they're
okay.
available,
First of
but you
all,
can only buy them for scalpers for $2,000 a piece, you're going to buy the Xbox.
the Steam machine's not going to be on store shelves.
No, it's not,
Yeah.
but it's going to be on eBay for $2,000.
Well, but you can only buy it from Valve.
Right, and it's gonna be absolutely be
Mm. Um.
swarmed by the scalpers.
Anyways, wait. I had a thought, and I
Yeah?
lost it.
Okay. Welcome to my world. This is
Oh,
how I live my
it
life
was
on a
Valve.
constant basis.
What were you saying before? Can we
Uh,
rewind? Okay, you predict the Steam machine will be pushed to 27.
yeah, and I said it's gonna be because the other thing that they could do is they could make sure that Xboxes were on the shelves and Steam machines were not available in enough
Oh,
appreciable
right,
amount to be
right.
able to put a dent into their
I remember.
sales.
There was an analyst
Mhm.
story a couple weeks ago about how the Xbox Rogue Ally X has sold, like, it had like pretty big spike in the first month. Like, oh, there was some demand, fell off a cliff. So much so
Yeah.
that like didn't even put a dent in Steam machine sales until the Steam machine became unavailable, like completely sold out because Valve stopped
Not
selling
the Steam
them.
machine, but the Steam Deck.
Yeah, Steam Deck, Steam Deck.
Right, right, right.
Um, and so in the article, the analyst said it'll be interesting to see if this changes, if like the sales of the Xbox Rogue Ally X go up at all because the Steam Deck is unavailable, or if people decide to wait for a Steam Deck. That I think will be an interesting indicator of what would happen with the consoles,
Yeah.
because Xbox is a well-known name. Xbox is a name known outside of the gaming industry.
Mhm.
Steam is not. I think if assuming Steam Machine comes out on store shelves, if you put both of those on a shelf, I think the average person, the average shopper, would buy the Xbox because they don't know what the Steam Machine is. Now, of course, things like price factor into all of that as well. But, if we're talking about a mainstream device, something that wants to sell, 80 million units like the PlayStation 5, Xbox has a better advantage because it has a mass appeal Steam name. It has a mainstream media recognizable name. The mainstream media doesn't know Valve. They don't know Steam. The average person does not.
Possibly.
Remember, Steam is like Steam and PlayStation and Xbox are a niche group within the broader gaming community.
Yeah, maybe. But I also think that the people that the people that don't know Steam won't be worried about console. Those would be the air quote parents of kids who are asking for these things.
Well, first of all, I don't think any kid nowadays is asking for a video game console, right? They've got Roblox on their tablet. They don't need a console.
I think that some do.
If I'm a parent, I'm buying a Steam machine for me, not my kid.
That's true. Yeah, but that's us. We're not the average gaming public.
That's also true. Yeah.
I think that, I'm looking at the big sales time, which is going to be the holidays, and that is going to be people purchasing for other people who have asked for it. And for those that would be interested in a new Xbox, they will absolutely be more interested in, maybe not. I don't know.
It's an interesting
There's going to be
scenario
people
because
that know consoles are going to be like, I want a Steam machine. But the question is, will the average person know enough about consoles to be able to say, because they only know two consoles, Xbox and PlayStation. And a Steam machine is
Switch.
be
They know
like, what the
Switch.
hell is a Steam machine? I don't know what the hell a
Yeah.
Steam machine is. I just want a new Xbox. I just
So
want a new PlayStation.
I feel like the tricky
Maybe.
part is that if assuming Valve
Uh-huh.
sticks to its guns and ships the Steam machine December 26, and
Mhm.
then everything goes according to plan and Xbox and PlayStation both ship new consoles in 27. Assuming that all comes to pass. Like, I don't know what the Xbox's selling point is because PlayStation has the brand name, the recognition, like the kind of cultural its talons in the hooks of culture that Xbox doesn't. So PlayStation 6 comes out, people are going to buy that because it's the next PlayStation. There's a
Mhm.
recognition that, oh, I want the new high-end video game console. That's what I'm going to get. Xbox's big selling point is that it's doing the exact same thing the console that released last year does. And it's like, how much of a selling point is that? Because the people that selling point matters to probably already bought a Steam machine. Because the average Xbox gamer isn't going to buy the next Xbox to play PC games. They're going to buy the next Xbox because they want to play the Xbox games. That whole selling point of it can also play your PC games is undercut by the Steam machine already being able to do that. And so the biggest selling point of this next console isn't much of a selling point because there's already something on the market that satisfies that need. And so knowing that, I still don't see where this Xbox fits within the greater whole of gaming. Like you've got PlayStation for console games, quote unquote console games. You got
Mhm.
Steam machine for PC games. Then you got a Switch for everything else. And Microsoft is kind of the we're trying to be all things to all people. We're trying to replace both the Steam machine and the PlayStation where it doesn't quite have its slot, right? They don't have their identity.
Sorry.
Hello?
Yes, and I'm trying to get. You think that people would? I've never had such a hard time getting a delivery into my place.
Is it just them getting past the gate?
I don't know. I think that the even though I put it into the order, I don't think it was conveyed to the driver of what my apartment number was.
Hmm.
So, anyway. So,
So
um,
new console.
I'm
It's
not
kind of
buying the
fun.
new Xbox.
It's kind of fun to be in a position where we can talk about new consoles.
Yeah, I'm
Like
not buying a new Xbox. Now, Chris
it's
had
fun.
said, "I wonder if they're gonna give me a new Xbox." I'm like, "Well, that would be very
Ooh.
interesting." They
Hey, hey,
probably will.
hey! I wouldn't complain.
No, they probably will give him a new Xbox, and I will try
You
it
give
out, but
you give they give him one, and he gives it to you, and you give it to me, and
no,
I give it to
no, no
someone.
one. No, 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 he's not gonna give it to me. I'm not gonna and honestly, I don't know that I would want it. I mean, yes,
That's
it'd
why
be
you
nice to
give
be
it to
able to play
me.
PC games. No, I'm not gonna give it to you. He's
Okay,
not going to
okay,
give it
look.
to me.
Okay, Edie, if I buy Evolve, will you give it to me?
No.
What for the Wii U?
No, it worked for the Wii U. Wii U is not this. And also, it's not my console. It's not going to come to me. I'm not going to get a console. He is. I'm not. And honestly, I don't want that console. I want a Steam machine. That's what I want. Because it's Linux, because I don't have it tethered to the Microsoft Cosmosphere that is the Microsoft metaverse that is never, ever, ever done anything good for me. Copilot? Do I need to point out Copilot? I don't even like using Microsoft at work except for Microsoft Office. If it wasn't for Word or Excel, I would not use it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they integrate like Copilot into the Xbox. You know they want to.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, they will.
I
Oh,
think I
yes, they
think
will.
honestly that aspect all comes down to UI. And in that regard, Steam has been working on the big picture UI for years at this point. So they kind of
Mhm.
have a natural, well-liked UI for navigating all these games.
Right, and everybody that uses Steam already is gonna be able to use it easily, and everybody that doesn't use Steam is going to be able to
Yeah.
figure it out very
And
quickly.
the Xbox has a tricky situation because Xbox games are not PC games. Xbox games cannot run on PCs and PC games cannot run on Xbox, which means this new console is basically doing what like the PS3 did, where it
Mhm.
launched being able to play PS3 games and then basically had a PS2 emulator inside it to be backwards compatible.
Had double chips. Actually,
Yeah.
I have the original, the very first one. I didn't get one, but I actually bought one used from someone else simply because it was one of the original releases that had the double chipset, the PS3
Mm,
chip and the PS2 chip set,
yeah.
until they could create the software emulator that allowed it to be able to do
Yeah.
that.
And I think that's what this has to be. So they basically have to make a box that's two boxes in one.
Mhm.
Because they need something. I don't think you can run, Xbox Series X games on an emulator. You need hardware for that.
That's a good question.
And so they need some way
They've
to
gotta be
marry
able to do this
those.
software. They've got to be able to do this by
You
software.
would think, but when the Xbox Rogue Ally X came out, that's what people were thinking. Oh, can this play my Xbox games? Turns out, no, it only plays PC games. And so this Xbox branded device couldn't actually play Xbox games. So I think that hurdle
It's a
is
very good
way
question.
harder than people expect of like, how do you marry these two platforms that have not been able
Again,
to work well together?
another perfect situation of Microsoft being hamstringed by being in the Microsoft verse
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Valve not. Valve can make it cheaper, faster, better, already done all of the homework as far as the UI. It's already accessible. Going to be a better machine. Period. The end. Everyone knows this. That's why Microsoft has to take advantage of the one thing it's got going for it, and that's that it can bogart every contract for parts between now and the end of time if they choose. They could effectively kill the the Steam machine if they wanted to.
No.
If
I
they're
got it. I got it. 6D chess. They don't want to kill the Steam machine.
They want to brand
wanna
the Steam.
kill the computer. They wanna kill the personal computer so that all that's left is their cloud services.
Possible. That
Mhm.
that is definitely 6D chess to a level of I don't even think Sad is going to be doing that. But no matter what, I think ultimately this is not a good thing for the ecosphere. Is it a good thing for Microsoft? Absolutely. Is it a good thing for consumers? I don't think so. And it's for this exact reason that Microsoft is going to have to play 6D chess, 5D chess to make this work. And you're going to do it.
Oh, yeah, it says, actually, yes, Gamers Nexus has been saying this the whole time. For
What?
which part? That's part of the memory crisis. Of what? Killing the personal computer?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch. I haven't watched Gamers Nexus in quite some time. I used to watch it
Yeah,
every night.
they did a lot of good stuff, last time NVIDIA launched their,
That's
graphics
when I started
cards.
watching.
Oh, the forced move to cloud services and loss of personal computers.
Yeah, I could see it. I think that again, is it a good idea for Xbox? Absolutely. Great idea for Xbox. Glad Phil thought of it. Is it good for us as consumers? Absolutely not, because it is going to force a war between Valve and Xbox that did not exist before. And ultimately, the only weapon that Xbox has is to continue the problem that is affecting everybody, not just gamers, but people that want to even just build their own PCs. And that is to make sure that the cost of components stays as high as possibly can, to the point of if they can make that stuff not available, they will make that stuff not available. And they will do it until either the bottom drops out of the AI market, which will bankrupt their company, could bankrupt their company if they put too much money into this war to keep Valve out, or until the shareholders start to complain about why are we purchasing contracts out for the next 10 years when at the prices that we are. This is irresponsible. Right now, the shareholder market is all about go ahead, buy. We're behind you. We believe if you put AI on it,
They're a
we'll
little
give you
behind.
all of our
They're
money.
starting to falter.
I
Cracks
think
are
that
showing.
this cracks are showing, but it's nowhere near when we're talking about the institutional level investors. They're still, we want to win the AI war. We want to win AI. And if winning AI means beating Valve at the same time, it's a bonus. So I don't like the fact that there is an adversarial relationship at this time when you are talking. Normally, adversarial relationships between competitors are exactly what benefit consumers. I think that this is one of those situations where it's going to hurt consumers. That we're going to get a more expensive and probably not as good Steam machine because of the one trump card that Microsoft can play in this war.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, buy your cheap Apple computer, because that would be the only way. That'll be the only personal computer in the future.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I've always said that the Apple is the master race, but most people disagree with me on that one. All right, so moving right along. Any other stories you want to bring up?
No, I think you have the more interesting
Okay.
one.
Speaking of Valve, the New York Attorney General, you all know her, y'all love her, you've heard her name in the news a million billion times, Letitia James. She filed last week so it wasn't this last week, but the week before, because that was when we were off for the week, suing Valve and filed in court a suit that claims that Valve is illegally, quote unquote, illegally promoting gambling through their loot box systems that they've built into the video games like Counter-Strike, Team Fortress 2, and Dota. They did issue a press release on this, so it is a real thing. It's not like it's just rumor. They actually issued a press release about it. So they're seeking to, quote, permanently stop Valve from promoting gambling features in its games, disgorge all ill-gotten gains, and pay fines for violating New York's laws. Quote, this loot box model that Valve has developed, charging an individual for a chance to win something of value based on luck alone, is quintessential gambling prohibited under New York's Constitution and penal laws. According to them, they say Valve has made, quote, tens of millions of dollars selling loot box keys, which is true, by the thousands, also true, to New York residents. And they've made millions of dollars more in commissions from New Yorkers who sold these, quote unquote, made millions of dollars more in commissions from New Yorkers who sold virtual items obtained from loot boxes. So, as you know, you can purchase these keys to open the loot boxes. You may get something that's worth nothing. Chances are you probably will. You could also get something that is valuable in the Steam community marketplace that you can sell for nothing, something, or a lot. And it's really all about an RNG, just a luck kind of thing of whether you get something that's worth nothing or thousands of dollars. So they're kind of pointing out that that's gambling because you can convert that to realsies, moneysies. And on top of that, you not only making people pay $2.49 plus tax to open the loot boxes, or sorry, $2.49 plus tax to open the loot boxes, but on top of that, if you want to sell it, they'll charge a commission on top of that where they make even more money. So, anyway,
So
that's a thing that has happened. That's a thing that Valve will absolutely have to answer for. And honestly, I don't necessarily disagree with her. It is gambling.
so
100%.
so yes,
It's a slot machine.
but like welcome to 2010. Like this is why we can't have nice things.
Nice things.
Because by the time the government gets around to saying we should do something about loot boxes, the whole fucking world has moved on.
Yeah.
When was the last fucking time you heard the word loot box used in a news story? Like, I saw this and my first thought was, are you fucking kidding me? Where was this 10 years ago?
Here's why I think it's coming up. They got their hands on an internal memo. They got themselves our hands on some evidence that they can bring into court that makes it an open and shut case. They've got something. This has always been a problem. Letitia James's office got their hands either on a person or a memo, probably some internal documents that confirms that this is a known thing and that they were trying to hide it. But they've got something.
See,
Because
I don't know. I
a
don't know
lot of times they
because
know something is illegal and they don't do anything about it because it would be too hard to prove. They've got something now that makes it easy to prove, or that they know that makes it a slam dunk case.
the problem
That's
is
why they're
that
filing it now.
other people have done this. There have been loot box cases before
Mhm.
that the companies have won.
Right.
So this
Even more so, they've got something. They have a piece of paper that makes this that's different. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought it up. It's Valve, it's deep pockets, number 1. Number 2, they've got something.
they must, because as other people pointed out, what about Blizzard? with Overwatch? What about EA? What about Ubisoft? What about literally every other? What you know? What you know? What if you really cared about protecting the kids? If you really cared about stopping the kids from gambling, you wouldn't sue Valve. You would sue the company where all of the kids actually are, which is Roblox,
Roblox.
which is also the far more exploitative platform. Which is why I'm looking at this going, Jesus fucking Christ, you threw a dart and you didn't even hit the board. You hit someone in the fucking eye who was watching you, and you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like,
They're not stupid. They're not stupid.
well, maybe because in addition to suing over gambling, Kotaku mentions that part of the not press release, but part of the lawsuit contained this little bit. In addition, although this case is about illegal gambling, it is important to note that Valve's promotion of games that glorify violence and guns helps fuel the dangerous epidemic of gun violence, particularly among young gamers who can become numbed to the grave violence before their brains are fully developed. And it's like, oh, yeah, like, oh, suing over loot boxes. That seems good, except that you're not suing the actual right exploitative platform. You're also adding in this little bit of gun violence as well. There's all these little pieces that feel like, I suspect, and this is my own personal conspiracy theory, I don't think they have an internal memo on Valve. I think that after Letitia James emerged victorious against Trump trying to sue her for going after him, she's like, I want to do something that shows the people I'm working for them. I want to do something that like helps the little guy. Go after loot boxes, because she's a politician who's so out of the loop that she's like, oh, I remember people complaining about loot boxes. Let's do that. Let's stop kids from gambling, and let's protect kids from violent video games.
There's
So
other things that she would have done over this.
So much of this feels like early 90s video game paranoia. Yes. Oh, we need to protect the kids from violence. We need to protect the kids from gambling. We need to protect the kids. And so
I honestly,
a lot of this feels
the fact she's going after Valve, not the most obvious.
Oh, the violence bit is in the press release. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you bring cases, you can't bring cases because you can't prove.
We need to protect the kids from ICE. Right. Yeah, let's focus on gambling. Again,
well, I think that if there's other things that she would have done, that if she was going to worry about just looking good, a political move, there's other things that she would have done, not loot boxes. This didn't make a huge bit of difference in the general public, because general public doesn't know what a loot box is, doesn't care what a loot box is.
Yes.
But I agree she's bringing it after Valve, and it's all about not the case that you want, but the case that you can prove. And that's why she's doing it. I absolutely know in my heart of hearts, they've got something. And that's why they're bringing this suit right now to this company, as opposed to any other suit to any other company. They've got something on Valve. So specifically, and they will use that, whatever they get out of the Valve suit, they're going to use as a precedent or some kind of way to be able to prove Roblox and everyone else. They're going, this is the first one. They need to win this one.
For her sake, I hope you're right, because the only way that this doesn't completely explode in her face as a failure is if she has a super secret memo, a smoking gun.
She has a smoking gun.
She needs one.
No question. No question in my mind. She's got a smoking gun.
Let it be on the record that I doubt it. I am a doubter.
Okay.
I believe I think it's more likely that
There's
this
no
is
way, no way she would have brought this if she
Oh,
didn't have a smoking
absolutely.
gun.
I think it's way more likely that she is just an out of touch politician.
No, 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 no. She is not in a position to bring out a case like this, high profile, with press releases, and lose.
Then, like I said,
She's
she
got
needs
it.
smoking
It's a
gun because if
slam
not,
dunk. She's got something.
well,
She's
it'll be
got
interesting to
something.
see because if she doesn't, if there is no secret weapon,
There,
then it's just we talked before about Microsoft shooting yourself in the foot.
no question. There's absolutely a secret weapon. This is not a Jack Thompson, like, or Leland G. Oh, what about the kids? This is not a what about the kids moment.
I don't know. It feels like
She's
it.
far craftier than that. She's not, well, first off, she's not a serial politician. She's not looking for higher office. She's not looking to become a senator at all. And she's not looking to lose. She is way,
Yeah,
Letitia James is a
she's a
smart
DA,
cookie.
right?
No,
District
attorney
attorney?
general.
Attorney general,
Attorney
yeah.
general.
Yeah, people like that don't bring cases that they think they can lose. The whole point is you
Mm-mm,
start a case
mm-mm.
you think you can win.
And she is a very, very, very smart attorney general who is unafraid, and she's only going to bring the very best of the very best. She would not have filed this suit if she didn't have a smoking gun.
We'll have to see. Because like I said, everything about this feels like something Jack Thompson would have done in the 90s. Like
Yeah.
all of the language, all of the arguments, all of the things that they put forward now feels like Jack Thompson Part 2.
I
That is
would
already a decade old.
I would say that she is smart enough to 4D chess this and have put out that press release sounding like a Jack Thompson witch hunt to make Valve and everyone else go, nothing to worry about here. It's gonna fail. To disarm them. I think that she's that smart that she would absolutely release a press release that makes it sound like it's just another run of the mill, what about the kids kind of thing, in order so that they don't go, why is she doing this? What kind of smoking gun does she have? To underestimate her. She's that smart.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We'll see. We'll
This is
see. I
Mark my word, this is going to be a fun one. It's not going to just go away. This one's going to be fun. If it does go away, it's because Val figures out she has a smoking gun and pays a lot of money for it never to come out. And if they're smart, Roblox will ensure, and all the other ones that play loot boxes, EA, especially EA, God, EA should be giving Valve money to pay off that settlement, to make it fucking go away. Because if she wins on this, you best believe EA, Roblox, everyone else, absolutely next. Epic, Activision are all next. Anything that's ever had a loot box in it. Or at least
doesn't do anything.
currently having a loot box that you can convert into real cash. That's what it comes down to. If you can
Sure.
convert it
Okay.
into real cash in a marketplace that is
Which
supported by that organization.
honestly, I don't think any of those other people do. So it really wouldn't make any. It's not going to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not going to stop.
And that might be
Ultimate Team.
the difference
Ultimate
is
Team.
that EA doesn't have its own marketplace to sell its
Yeah.
cards. Dota and like Dota does it on Valve, but Roblox doesn't have its own marketplace to sell your collectibles.
Although they do.
You can sell them, but not on
Yeah. Roblox is
Roblox.
interesting. Huh.
Yeah. So maybe that's the difference.
That could be.
That makes this is that they actually have their own marketplace where they promote the sales and conversion into cash, taking a commission off the top of it. because that's what makes it gambling. If it's gambling with virtual money that just stays, or virtual things that just stay virtual things, that's fine. But when you
Yeah.
convert it into real money, then it becomes gambling.
You know, it's also gambling.
Hmm.
Poly market, Kalshi, all these predictive markets could be doing. You could,
But none
um,
of them are owned by EA. None of them are owned by the people
no,
that are
but
giving the loot boxes.
you could go after the relevant gambling, or you could go after the old
That's
irrelevant.
not gambling. That is resale. That's not gambling any more than eBay is
What?
gambling.
The predictive markets?
A predictive
No, those
market,
are
true.
those are those are
Yeah,
gambling.
those are gambling, true. But they're also not deep pockets like Valve. Anyway, so that's mine.
Yeah.
What else
I've
did
got
I
I've got a couple ones that
Okay.
could be quick.
Yeah. Go ahead and do your quick ones, and then I'll try and make
Okay,
mine as
I'll
quick
just
as
I'll just do
possible.
my quick one.
Okay.
Nintendo is suing the US to get tariff refunds. This isn't particularly special because a lot of companies are. This isn't like Nintendo standing out going, "We want our money back." This is the only way for a company to get money back, so a lot of companies are suing to get tariff refunds.
Fun fact, Costco has said that if it gets money back from the tariffs, that it is absolutely going to give it to its members.
Mm.
Nintendo has not said that. Nintendo
Well, of
can.
course not.
Nintendo absolutely can, because it knows who's purchased things. It knows who's used its, marketplace.
I mean, at the very least, they could lower the price of the Switch by what was it, $10? I think they raised it, or was
Mhm.
it $50?
Yeah. I don't remember. I think it was 50. I think it was 50.
Okay.
But yeah, they could lower it. But Costco is actually already committed that if they get any money back from tariff refunds, they are going to give it back to membership.
That's nice because the problem with this is that prices go up, but they rarely go down.
Yeah.
Like once you get people used to paying $10, even if suddenly the supply chain gets fixed and you can sell it for cheaper, well, we can make it for cheaper and ship it for cheaper. So if we just keep selling it at $10, we make more money. So
Right.
we're going to keep selling it
Or
at
we're
$10.
lower at 50% of what we actually hiked it to. So we
Yeah.
hiked it $10, we'll reduce it 5, and that's the new normal.
Yeah. So yeah, prices rarely go down. And so even if everyone gets a refund, even if the world was better, there's no guarantee that prices would go down to ease
No.
spending.
Nope. Um,
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe in a
yeah,
nice world
Costco is
that
one of those few
Nintendo
public.
that hopefully if this refund goes through, at the very least Nintendo would lower the price of the Switch.
Mhm.
That would be a big indicator of change.
Yeah. Costco is one of those few companies that, even though we are in end-stage capitalism, is proof that you can be successful and ethical to your consumers. They
Mm.
are. Do you know how much Costco share is right now? $996.
Wow.
And they make money hand over fucking fist. And they're exceptionally good to their members. If I was going to say if I was going to trust a company, a publicly traded company, it would be Costco. Because Costco just says to its shareholders, fuck off. We're going to do it the right way. We're not going to get rid of the $1.50 hot dog. We don't care how much you're complaining. You don't want it? You don't like it? Sell the stock. Fuck off. They don't care about their stock price. They're okay with that. They are not their shares are $1,000 and they're not splitting their shares because they don't need the money.
That's insane. They have a higher share price than Amazon and Walmart and Microsoft.
By a long shot, because they don't
Yes.
split their stock.
Yeah. Huh.
They don't need the money. They have a successful business model. They don't need the money, and they don't want more shareholders to make demands of them. So when they want to keep the $1.50 loss leader of a $1.50 hot dog and a Coke, they're going to keep it and tell their shareholders, if you don't like it, sell the stock. Go right ahead. Be our guest. Nobody's getting a bonus off of in their C-suite. Their C-suite makes reasonable amounts of money. They pay their employees very well, and they don't make a huge bonus because their share price goes up. They have divested their business model from the stock price.
Hmm.
They've kept the two
I
separate
I
as the
like
way they
that.
should be. No,
Yeah, that's hmm.
Costco's a good company. If you can afford to buy Costco stock, put your stuff in Costco stock. Everything else is going down ever since we started dropping bombs on Iraq. Guess what went up? Costco.
Okay. Costco's the safe haven.
Costco is Switzerland of the
Huh.
stock market.
Okay.
So anyway, my next item is, let me do another item. I'll do so we can switch it out. Speaking of safe havens, actually it's a terrible segue. It's a
That
terrible.
terrible segue. No, what's your news story now?
White House is, that they've forced TikTok to sell its American arm, from, forced Chinese company to sell its American arm of TikTok to be held by a American arm of friends and family of the Trump administration. Well, the
It's also
White House is
also
also,
also worth also worth noting that hey, we're going to force China to divest itself from TikTok because we don't want them collecting information from American citizens. And then the moment that it shifts over, people got a notice on TikTok of terms of service changes, and they'll be collecting more data now.
but it's to Americans.
Yes.
Uh, the the White House is reporting, and this was reported by the Financial Times, that they're debating whether to allow Tencent to continue to maintain its stake in American video game companies. And this is happening just as Trump is getting ready to meet with Xi Jinping in China next month. So top officials reportedly according to the Financial Times, in the Trump administration held meetings to decide whether Tencent's investments in US and in Finnish groups um,
What
pose a
did they do
security
about
risk.
Finnish groups?
They hold, who do they hold in Finland?
No,
They
but
have
like
own
how could the US control what they have in Finnish investments?
Well, they won't have control what they have in Finnish investments, but they are discussing the fact that they own the Finnish mobile gaming group that developed Clash of Clans, which is a very large mobile game in the United States. A lot of US users of Clash of Clans. So Tencent holds a 28% stake in Epic Games, which is Fortnite. It owns Riot Games, which owns League of Legends and Supercell, and it also owns the Finnish gaming group that owns Clash of Clans, or that makes Clash of Clans. So somebody familiar with the state of play last summer said that Tencent at the time was negotiating measures with the Committee on Foreign Investment in the US to mitigate Washington's concerns. So that was last summer. So the debate is still going on if this TikTok treatment might also be looking at US games. And they're not wrong. They're, to their credit, they're not wrong. Tencent is absolutely who they say that they're not the Chinese government. We're not the Chinese government, but you sort of are the Chinese government, because any company that big in China is kind of the Chinese government. They are absolutely collecting information on US users, on what we do, on what we're all of our personal information, and it is a straight shot to to the Chinese government. Now, are they actually literally the Chinese government? No. But if Chinese government goes to TikTok, goes to Tencent and says, give us this information, they will go here, take it. They don't have a choice.
I mean, shocker.
And this has been a discussion that apparently has been going on since the Biden administration.
The
The
US
Biden
doesn't do
administration
that.
didn't do anything,
No.
but the Biden administration did not do anything about this in the past. So the name of the group is the Treasury-led panel that vets inbound investments for security risk is called CFIUS. And in the first Trump administration,
That's a very bad name.
CFIUS,
Yeah.
CFIUS.
I hear that and think, wait, your company's syphilis?
No, CFIUS.
Okay, not syphilis.
Maybe it's CFIUS, but I don't know. I'm calling it CFIUS. CFIUS started to question Tencent's investments back in the first Trump administration. So that was already on their radar about it, but it never really got past kind of the initial go. Then Joe Biden's administration also, CFIUS was also bringing this up during Joe Biden's administration when they were purchasing even more stake and even more companies and going, this might be a problem. Well, apparently it's now gotten to the point where they're actually discussing it because they were successful with TikTok. Now they're discussing the possibility of moving that same action over to Tencent about gaming. And of course, this is going to, all this conversation is happening because Trump is meeting with Xi Jinping, the head of the Chinese government, next month. So it's a good time for them to be kind of going, all right, well, TikTok, what can we do next? Gaming.
The problem with all of this is that there's no benefit. There is no benefit for anyone because they're not really doing this to protect Americans' information. They're not doing this to protect our privacy. They'll give it to an American company that will take more information from us, or they'll give it to a Saudi Arabian company, and Saudi Arabia will have all of our information. Mm-hmm. It's not about information. It's not about privacy. Mm-mm. It's a cudgel that Trump could use in negotiations with China. That's all it is.
Yes.
All the reasoning and all the justification is a smoke show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is no actual political or financial reason to do this.
No, but it is, like you said, it's a lever. It's a little bit of a leverage that they could use against China because they could say, all right, you want to play ball with us on other things?
The problem is that, okay, Tencent
maybe
pulls
you can
out.
Make this little Tencent problem go away.
Tencent pulls out of America, and then the American video game industry just collapses even further than it already is.
They're not going to pull out. They can't afford to pull out of it. It would bankrupt them. So
Tencent?
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't.
They've got a lot of money invested here. They won't just walk away.
They've got a lot of money invested, but Tencent is huge.
That's true. Tencent is huge, but
Tencent could pull out of gaming and be fine.
They won't walk away. They won't walk away from these investments. And it's not quite like TikTok because American TikTok was a very, 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 very large share of TikTok. But they're not going to easily walk away from this. They're going to do all they can to protect that investment.
Oh, yes, they will.
But if there was any indication that this is a thing, and remember, like a couple of months ago, we talked about how the Trump administration had put Tencent on a list of a Pentagon list of companies that are have significant ties to the Chinese military, connections to the Chinese military. This is why they were put on there. Is that they're eyeing that maybe we want to force Tencent to either divest or put an American Tencent arm that is air gapped to the Chinese arm in control of all the American gaming companies that are collecting information on Americans. But that's a thing that might be happening.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your eyes here. We will if anything happens there, we will absolutely be reporting it, because this is the kind of stuff I love to watch.
This will be a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
10
This
cent
will be a disaster.
If 10 cent sells Riot, if 10 cent gets rid of Riot. Oh, you know
I
what?
don't.
No,
They
you know
won't
what?
get rid of
10 cent
Riot. They'll
no, 10 cent
create. They'll 10 cent will create 10 cent America, and then they will sell the 10 cent America to an American investment company, probably
like
run
who?
by Jared Kushner and the Saudis.
No. Yeah, that's it. They'll just sell it to Jared Kushner in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Like
I think
what they fucking
that's
do?
a real possibility. That is a real fucking possibility, dude.
Oh,
That they will own EA and 10 cent America.
Yes. That's
Mhm.
why I say it's not about privacy. It's not about information. It's just about
No.
Trump doesn't like China, but he likes Saudi
No.
Arabia.
Yes. No.
And
He
that's all it
wants.
is.
It's about he wants Chinese investment out and to give it to his friends. This is a cash grab. No
Yeah.
question about what this is. Yeah. Anyway. Your next item.
Let's see. Well, speaking of pulling out of things, Marvel Rivals publisher has stopped funding for Gang of Dragon. So, Gang of Dragon was shown off at the Game Awards last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new game coming from Nagoshi Studios, which is the new studio from one of the co-creators of Yakuza.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are excited to see what's one of the co-creators of Yakuza gonna do for their first new game of the studio. And they showed off a trailer with a famous South Korean martial arts actor, like Mei Dong, something like that. But the game was called Gang of Dragon. So apparently, NetEase, that's the publisher, realized or found out that there's some sort of funding hole, that the game will take an additional $44 million to complete production. And NetEase didn't want to invest that additional $44 million. So they have said that they will stop funding in May, and Nagoshi can find outside help. They can, hey, stop that. Like, they can find another person to fund the game. If they find someone to cover that 44 million gap, NetEase will continue to publish the game. But if they can't, like NetEase has just said, we will not pay that money. You can do whatever you need to find that money, but it will not be coming from us. Jupiter, stop eating cables. Stop licking dongles. Jesus.
Quote, should I change the name of the episode to Stop Licking Dongles? Changing it now.
He goes over to the
keep
laptop. No, that's it. That's all the story. That's unfortunate because the trailer looked really neat. We don't have much indication of what the actual game is like because it's all just a CG trailer. But like a new game from the Yakuza devs seems like something to be excited for. And it's unfortunate that, God, this is just the same story with every AAA developer who went to go create their own studio, and the publisher shut them down before they even put out a game.
Yep.
This time we got a trailer out of it before the game got shut down.
Yeah, it was a good looking trailer too.
Keep the pussycats away from your dongle, Nick. You're married.
Now, my last item is, so I guess there is a rumor that has been going around that is kind of a kind of everybody knows, but nobody talks about. But there was a recent article that the it was been believed that FromSoft and Miyazaki were not happy with Demon Souls PS5 remake. This was brought up again by Nate the Hate. He posted on Reset Era. There's apparently been chatter about it for quite some time, but regardless of whether it's chatter, there appears to be some kernel of truth about it. Whether it's up for debate is, whether how truthful that kernel is, how good that kernel is, that's up for debate. But there is some kind of kernel of truth on it.
Do we know like the details?
So Miyazaki apparently didn't hate the Demon Souls remake.
Okay.
And it wasn't really the likely breaking point on doing the remaster, but they didn't like it because the artwork was too far away from the art style of the original game, and it took unique kind of westernized spins on some of the fantasy tropes, like mind flayers, and replaced their original artwork or the original concepts with more generic Western interpretations of them. And see, I didn't play Demon Souls, so I'm having to read this directly, that there was an issue with Boletaria being in an atmosphere more befitting Bloodborne, quote unquote. So there's also history apparently behind the original Demon Souls to consider in this as well. Sony and FromSoft had a bit of an issue. Sony, I guess, according to reports, they were not completely convinced about FromSoft's take on the RPG genre to make it more of a like grueling grind that FromSoft is known for. And they outright refused to publish Demon Souls in the West. And that's why Bandai Namco and Atlas did it for the US and the Europe and the US.
Okay.
That it wasn't PS5. It was PS5 in Asia. But when they were like, I don't know if this is going to go over in Europe and the US so well, so we're not going to do it. Bandai said, okay, yes, we'll do it. And Atlas. And of course, they were proved right.
Yeah.
Shuhei Yoshida explained last year that work had already begun on a sequel, but FromSoft was quote unquote so disappointed by how it was treated from Sony that it chose to work with Bandai on the spiritual successor, leading to the Dark Souls trilogy. Does all of that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had an idea. They came to Sony. They were turned down. They got Bandai Namco, and they were a hit. And they're like, "Well, fuck you. We're gonna keep going with the people that believed in us."
That believed in us. Now they've
that makes sense.
obviously since made up a bit because, of course, there was the collaboration with Sony on Bloodborne shortly after the first Dark Souls launched. But there's a lot of baggage left over from Demon Souls.
And Sony has invested heavily into their parent company.
Exactly. Well, they're trying to get their hands into it as much as they possibly can because they fucked up in the early days by saying, we're not so sure about this. And then they were proven wrong. And it's like, oh, now we have to catch up by actually investing in the company itself.
To be fair, Demon Souls wasn't a big hit. It was only Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 that things kind of took off.
Right.
But
right.
Look,
so
it's a classic story. It's a classic story of it's hard to know where a hit comes from. Because Demon Souls wasn't a hit, but it was the spark that built to create something that was much bigger. So how do you predict these things?
Right.
How do you see that vision? And that's tough to do.
Yeah. Well, they didn't see that was a train that they needed to get on early, and they sold their ticket. And then afterwards had to kind of make up for it. So it's an interesting bit of information that is being, I don't want to say revealed now, because I guess it was lots of chatter about it for a long, long, long time. but it is kind of coming to the forefront because there's been a lot of discussion online about this chatter that we all haven't been privy to.
Well, I think also with the shutdown of Bluepoint and people saying, why didn't Bluepoint remaster Bloodborne?
Mhm.
There's a lot of this coming out about how From Software has repeatedly turned down that possibility.
Right.
And not just, I think after the God of War live service game got canceled, Bluepoint then pitched a Bloodborne remaster. FromSoft said no, and Sony couldn't find them a place to go. But they also pitched a Bloodborne remaster even before Sony bought them. Even
Mhm.
when they were just a contract studio, they pitched that as an idea and were turned down again. And the general consensus is that Miyazaki has a personal affinity for Bloodborne. And so he's like, if we're going to remake it, I want to do it. I don't want anyone else touching it. I want to do it.
Right, especially given how we had a remake done previously with Demon Souls, and we were not happy with how that came out.
Yeah. I'm sure that all feeds into it. But you know, they're busy making whatever the fuck Elden Ring 2 is. Or Dustbloods. They're working on
Counting all
Dustbloods.
of their gorgeous money, rolling around in it because they can.
Yep. No, they're going to make Armored Core 7.
Diving
That's the
into
real.
their piles of gold, Scrooge McDuck style, and swimming around.
Oh, there was a moment in Where Winds Meet where like you walk into an area and it's filled with gold. And my first thought was, oh, it's like Scrooge McDuck. And I saw a signpost on the ground, opened it up, and someone had left a comment, it's like Scrooge McDuck. And I thought, fuck yeah, dude. I'm gonna thumbs up that. I like being able to like leave full messages are pretty good because some of the messages are great.
I really do love that about Demon Souls. I mean, not Demon Souls, about Where Winds Meet. I love that about that. It's a mechanic that was in Elden Ring, but really fully fleshed out, where you could just drop a pin and leave a message for someone, and it could either
Yeah,
be
in
funny or it could
Elden
be
in Where Winds Meet, you can write full sentences. In Elden Ring and Demon Souls and all the other FromSoft games, you were very limited in what you could express.
right, right. And the fact that you could just leave messages behind, and sometimes they're really, really useful, and sometimes they're funny, and sometimes it's just a waste of time. But I
Yeah.
like the fact that it's all there, that you can actually it makes you feel connected to the rest of the community in a way that makes sense for an MMO that probably didn't make sense for Elden Ring, but
Yeah, well,
still would have been cool for Elden Ring because there were so many people playing. It was
yeah.
practically an MMO that
I
they didn't play
mean,
with each other.
Elden Ring has a tone and an atmosphere that it wants to maintain. Where Winds Meet is like, fuck it. If you want to know, hey, here's a puzzle. If you want the answer to that puzzle, this dude will tell you what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not trying to maintain a tone or
Mm-mm.
like a spookiness.
Yeah, yeah. They're not, and they're also not FromSoft, so they're not brutally trying to murder you at all times and make you thank them for it. Thank you very much, sir. Can I have another? All right. You have anything else?
No, those are all my
Neither
news.
neither do I. I
I
am
guess
all
there was
done.
a moment in the Xbox thing where Sad Nutella said that Xbox doesn't have a blank check. Something about someone, a Spanish like streamer or someone was like watching it and talked about how, or translated it as Asha Sharma has my full trust and has a blank check to revive Xbox. And Microsoft actually came back and responded, no, we did not say blank check. We did not say that. Nope. No.
Wish I'd been there to see it.
Okay,
I would
yeah,
have been able to
he's
answer
a
that.
YouTuber. A YouTuber dedicated an 18-minute video to the town hall. And so he tweeted out, oh, this is what was said. And Xbox is like, no, we did not say she had a blank check.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah.
clearly means that she does.
She totally has a blank. She doesn't have a blank check. She doesn't have a blank check. Nobody does. Not at Microsoft. Nobody has a blank check to do anything.
Microsoft should make cards instead of consoles. if I would trust that car. I would not want my car to blue screen of death on the highway.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
hear that?
I forgot about that. Just a few days left for High Guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
High
I don't
Guard
know if I
getting
want to play it.
shut
Have
down.
you
I mean,
played it now?
no, I haven't. But look,
Yeah.
there's no point to do it now. What are you going to do? Play it and realize, oh man, I love this game. Too bad it's gone. Like, no, there's no point to play. That's right. That launched. Marathon launched too, and apparently Marathon
And you
launched
didn't
pretty
talk
well.
about Marathon. You played Marathon.
I played a little bit with Andrew. He played a lot more. I was carried by Andrew. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just going along trying to shoot things. I killed a couple things and people. I died a lot.
I
I was
wanted to play, and I really, really wanted Andrew to be on this show so that he could talk about playing.
yes. Well, that's why I feel like next time he's on, he can talk more about Marathon because I could not tell you anything substantial about it.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay. What?
Hold on a second. Oh, man, why didn't he just ring the fucking doorbell? Oh my God, including mussels. I ordered seafood and they just left it at the door outside in a heat wave.
Really? Yeah, why don't they? I don't know why they don't knock.
Yeah,
Knock,
just
use the
knock. Just
doorbell.
ring the effing door, dude. Sorry. And it's got
Okay.
seafood. Otherwise, I wouldn't have jumped up, but it's got seafood in it. So I want to make sure that it.
Well, okay, while you do that. Oh yeah, AC Wraith has a note in the chat that yeah, Google Epic Sweeney muzzled by Google through 2032. Yeah, there was a settlement about that. And there was a good article on Ars Technica that I did not read all the way through. So I can't comment on what exactly was said, but I know from what you said, AC Wraith, that Tim Sweeney is basically like, yo, don't talk shit about Google. Like, shut the fuck up. Stop bad
Really?
mouthing us as part of the settlement. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, go away.
That's funny. By the way, incidentally, if you like mussels, super good deal on them at Safeway right now.
Oh, that's yeah. Yeah, apparently Google Tim Sweeney cannot criticize a Google Play Store until 2032.
Really?
Yes. So he literally has to shut up about it.
How? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Who muzzled him? How? How is that happening?
Part of the epic Google fight has part of the settlement, and I haven't looked at all of the details of the settlement, but
Yeah.
this is from Gizmodo. As part of their proposed settlement, Sweeney agreed in a binding term sheet to not only stop attacking Google's App Store policies, but to actively support the changes the company is rolling out.
Oh, they're making him actively support it. Wow. So in other words, we are going to completely discredit Tim Sweeney so that until 2032.
Yeah. So okay.
Oh
this is a
God.
quote. This is a quote. It's nice that Gizmodo put these right next to each other. A quote from Tim Sweeney on X. Google is opening up Android all the way with robust support for competing stores, competing payments, and a better deal for all developers. So we've settled all of our disputes worldwide. Thanks, Google. That is a tweet from him on Wednesday. A switch in tone from last April when he said that Google and Apple were no longer good faith, law-abiding companies. He accused them of gangster-style business that will do anything they can get away with.
He should just link that Tech AI article every time he speaks about Google.
And so this is part of the proposed settlement. So I don't know if this has been agreed upon yet. I also don't know the other terms of the settlement.
Huh.
But yeah,
Money.
they had the settlement.
Money. There's money involved.
Sure, but like, what is Google changing? Because obviously Tim Sweeney's like, oh, they're opening the App Store, they're doing this, they're doing that. So I would like to know exactly. Okay, On Wednesday, president of Android ecosystem Samir Samart wrote in a blog post that the company would begin implementing some of the proposed settlement changes even before they are officially approved by a judge. The changes, which will roll out over the coming years, are meant to give developers more billing options and make it easier for users to install qualified third-party app stores. So yeah, basically allowing people to not use Google Pay and allowing different app stores onto their OS.
Ugh.
I mean, honestly, this is what fucking Phil Spencer needed. Like, so much of their Xbox Everywhere initiative was like Xbox everywhere except phones. Even though, like, hey, mobile
Yeah.
huge. We saw
Yeah.
in all those
Yeah.
charts, mobile huge. Xbox is everywhere except the biggest platform on the planet, but it's everywhere.
Right.
Everything is an Xbox. Your TV is an Xbox. Your phone is not an Xbox. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They needed something like
And
this.
now
They needed the store to open up so that they
And
could put their
now-
Xbox storefront on phones.
and now Xbox isn't even an Xbox.
That's true.
Talk about going exactly the opposite direction. They made everything an Xbox so that nothing is an Xbox, including an Xbox.
So it's still like, okay, this is what blows me away. On my iPhone,
Mhm.
there is a PlayStation app that I can open up. I can see what games I've been playing. I can see my friends online. I can send them messages, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. I can also see the storefront, the PSN storefront. I can browse all of the games. I can buy all of the games. And I can tell them to download to my console in rest mode so that they're ready to play. I can buy a game at work and then go play it at home on the console that downloaded because it was in rest mode. Can't do any of that with an Xbox. There is no Xbox app. There is like, and there,
Nope.
God, oh my God, the Xbox website is one of the most fucking horrible things I've had to use.
Oh my God,
I've
yes.
tried to buy things on their website, and it's like, oh, if I go to a game page from this link, it allows me to put it on the wish list. But if I go to it from this link, I can't put it on a wish list. Like, what the fuck? For a software company, the software is shit. And like,
Mhm.
how can you make an Xbox mobile store when you can't even get a website storefront working and you can't even get an app storefront working?
It's because they want the Microsoft, the Xbox store to be integrated within the Windows store, which is integrated with Office, it all has to fit together. Again, going back to the things that Microsoft has working against it to make a good PC console. Is that they're going to force it to have to work in all of these existing systems that don't fit together seamlessly, that are all kludged into weird ways together, that I have to sign into live.com in order to sign into Microsoft.com in order to
Yes.
sign into Xbox.com to get to my Xbox store.
You need 3 accounts to go
Right.
to Xbox
Right.
on a website.
And if any one of them don't work, you can't sign into anything. And heaven forbid you want to sign into all, like it is a convoluted mess of probably one of the most convoluted messes of a corporation online connecting things together. Like
And
Google, at least it did one thing. It's all Google. You want to go to google.com? You go to google.com. You want to go to Maps? You go to maps.google.com. You want to go to Sheets? You go to sheets.google.com. It all makes sense. Microsoft has been pasting stuff on top of Microsoft all the time, and they all want to have their own identity, but they don't fit together. They don't work together. There's no guiding philosophy to make stuff work. And that's what this PC console needs to fit into. And it's going to be a hot fucking mess because you're going to have to sign into all of those accounts just to get into your console.
yeah, I'm looking. So, okay, I have opened 3 apps on my computer. One of them
Mhm.
is the Microsoft Store,
Mhm.
which has, you can buy a bunch of different apps there, including video games.
Mhm.
There's an Xbox app that I can open up that allows me to play the apps. So I buy it on the Microsoft Store, but then open it in the Xbox app, which then has a Game Pass section, but there's also a Game Pass section on the Microsoft Store. I don't know how these things interact. I don't know how they, but apparently I cannot buy, no, I can buy Xbox games from the Xbox app, or I can buy them from the Microsoft Store, but I can't play them from the Microsoft Store.
Mm-mm. If you buy them from the Microsoft Store, they go down to they'll download to your PC only.
But then
That's the
will it appear
Microsoft Store.
but then will it appear in the Xbox app?
No, because
I
it's
would
not an
hope so.
Xbox game. Microsoft Store is going to be your PC only, I believe. I
Oh,
believe.
that's right, that would be PC only, it wouldn't be
Mhm.
Xbox.
Mhm.
But then if I have the Xbox app running on my PC, those games are PC games. Those are Xbox on PC games.
Are they? It's just it's
God,
a hot mess.
it's
It's a hot mess. And
yeah,
this is the environment that the new Xbox is going to
it's,
have to integrate itself into, and this is why I want a Steam machine.
it's like What
Steam,
Remains of Edith Finch,
steampowered.com. Yeah.
where they kept building layers on top of the house over and over again, none of which really fit together until the whole
Mhm.
thing just became a little creaky.
Mhm. Mhm. Honestly, I don't know why, because inevitably there's somebody in the company who wants to put his name, and it's always a him, wants to put his name on whatever he's doing, and this is his big initiative. Some nepo baby that wants to show the daddy that he's making a difference. I'm really surprised nobody has actually said, maybe we should fix our online presence so that it's not this confusing mishmash of stuff that of all these companies that we've purchased, and so they're all going to the same place, all going different places, but they all have to be connected to each other through different accounts and different sign-ons. And
I don't know. I think that's a feature, not a bug. I think if they make it so confusing, you just get stuck in them like a spider web, a
maybe,
software spider web.
but that's not going to work when that's not going to work for your console.
Hey, there are the blades for the win, not for the UI. I mean wrists.
Oh,
Oh
that's
yeah,
dark. I like it.
and
That's very dark.
talking about Google, side loading will be better supported on Android phones. Side talking, still the realm of old Nokia.
Mhm.
God, I remember side talking. I remember when they made a big deal about holding the taco to your head.
Can I end the show, Nick?
Yeah,
I would really like to end the show. We are
I
coming up on
I
3
mean,
hours.
I had run out of news, but then AC Wraith mentioned High Guard
AC
and
Ray doing this
Marathon and
just to fuck with me.
Tim
So
Sweeney.
we're gonna put an
I mean,
end to
those are good
AC
news.
Ray's
Those are good
reign of
news.
terror.
It's good to talk about those things.
Yes, it is good to talk about these things. So, on that note, can we close this out?
Yes.
All right, let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds episode 811. We recorded this on Sunday, March 8th, 2026. I've been Edie Sellers. With me is with me is Nick DiNicola. We miss Holy Goalie. If you ever want to get a hold of us, gamehounds.net is our website. Gamehounds@gmail.com is our email. We record this show live every Sunday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. On Facebook and Twitch, we are The Gamehounds. On YouTube, we're Gamehounds Vids, VIDS is in videos. All one word. Would love to have you join us live if you are listening to this as a podcast. And for everybody who was listening to us live, thank you very much. Please do me a favor. If you're still on, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, wherever you are, whether you're on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. Do all of those things. It really does help us. Now, if you are listening to this as a podcast, yes, we are a podcast. We edit the show down so that it's more listenable, and we put it on iTunes and all other podcast locations. If you are listening to us as a podcast on Apple Podcasts, please, please, please do us a favor. Leave us some feedback. Give us a star. Give us a thumbs up, whatever. We have a lot of listeners out there that don't know that we're still around. We are still been going on now for going on 15 years. We'd love to have a lot of our old listeners find us. And the way that you can do to help is to leave us feedback so that it will hit the algorithm and make them find us. If you are listening as a podcast, please, please, please come back someday and watch us live. There is more show to be had that you are missing that we do live. Also, no matter where you're listening, please consider becoming a sponsor to us. Patreon.com/GameHounds. That is our Patreon site. $1 a month is all we ask to help offset the cost of the show. And if you can't do that, that's cool. Then just come see us in the Discord. Discord information is in the description, no matter where you're watching or listening to us. Find that Discord information. Come join us. That's where you're going to see AC Wraith and all of the other people in the GameHounds Nation that we're all sitting around talking. Also, I post a lot of really good deals in our gaming deals section every week. And so does AC Wraith. Great place to find new information and new hot deals on games and peripherals to save yourself some money. Nick, have a great week.
You too.
And we will talk to you next week. Bye, everyone. He's waving for everybody on the podcast. He's waving. To show how bad we need reviews, my 2011 review before I started as the link bitch still listed third. Really? Okay. Yeah. If you are playing a game right now, hey, bartender, say, if you're playing a game, go to our Discord and review the game. I'm not going to lie. I'm as bad as all the rest of you.
Review us. Review the podcast.
Review the Oh, yeah. Review the podcast. Yeah. Review the podcast. Make sure that you.
Only if it's good. Only if it's good. Only 5 stars. If you don't like us, don't bother.
Fuck off. No, don't fuck off. No, just any kind of review, even if it's a 1-star review, but better than not saying anything because it helps us make the show better. All right. Just to give you a heads up, this is more than enough advance notice, guys. All right. I don't want to hear you complaining about last minute cancellations. We will not be having a show on Sunday, April 5th, or at least I won't be here, and Sunday, April 12th.
Okay.
I am going to Disneyland.
Oh.
It's spring break, so we're taking the girl child down to LA for her annual trip to the K-pop Mecca, where we'll be going to K-pop store to K-pop store to K-pop store, where we will be going to the Dodger game in LA, which I will hate every minute of it for at least 2 games, and we'll be going to Disneyland. Now ask Edie what she's getting out of this trip.
What are you getting out of this trip?
Absolutely nothing.
No, you're getting quality time. You're getting social time. You're getting the joy of watching.
I don't want to go to K-pop stars.
Care about
I don't want to drive. I don't want to drive around LA going to K-pop stores. Disneyland, we did it last year. I don't want to do it again, but I'm doing it again. And Dodger games in LA, I would rather eat my lungs than do that.
You know what? Bring a laptop and you can just podcast from the hotel room.
No. All right. Actually, both Sundays we're going to be traveling. That's when we're
says, I only use Spreaker. Can I review there?
Yeah, you can use. We're not on Spreaker anymore. How are you listening?
I think that was a joke.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Fuck Spreaker.
We're not there.
Hate those guys. Hate those guys.
Yes, you can review us there.
They were great until they were purchased by iHeartRadio, and then they just went all downhill. So.
Yeah. Okay. I will do a podcast next week on the 15th. excuse me. The 22nd, I might not be able to because we'll be going to Texas to visit Rachel's mom that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we'll be flying back Sunday afternoon.
And that's fine. I can, if at the very least, I can just do a show by myself. I'll try and see if I can get Andrew to be here.
Yeah. So I given the time difference and like how we'll be flying in the afternoon, I don't think I'll have time to do anything. Maybe I'll pop on and leave a couple comments if I
Mhm.
can. But yeah.
Yeah.
So 22nd for me is looking dicey.
Okay. So we are looking at a questionable March 22nd for Nick.
Oh wait, he says Botchin says same on iTunes link, invalid link your website. Oh, he also says he'll host the show with AC.
So on, let me look at that. What did you just say? I'm gonna look at that.
Yeah, what's
vomit
the
again.
iTunes link? What's the Spreaker link?
Yeah. What's the link? Because I was just on iTunes, fixing stuff on iTunes just a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know why anything on the iTunes link would be broken, but I can double check. So all right, currently March 22nd is questionable, and April. So we'll have show next week, possible no show the week after, show the 29th, no show on the 5th, and no show on the 12th. Yeah, it's going to be springtime. Gotta love it. I'll make a point of doing something on the 22nd, no matter what. Even if it is, if I'm just streaming, I'll just stream on whenever we stream on Twitch. So if you come here and there's no show, go look on Twitch because it means that one of us can't make it and the other one is going to be streaming Twitch because we don't have OBS to be able to stream elsewhere. One of these days I will, but not this week or next week or the week after. All right, everyone. I will look into this iTunes links not working. And let's see, under where it says join our Discord, the link beneath that. Okay. I will figure out why those aren't working. But thank you for the heads up on that because I actually just put those links in just recently. So I'll double check to make sure why those aren't working. See everyone later. Have a great week.
Bye.
And thanks for coming. Bye.